we can make sure no crazy noises get broadcasted to everybody. But turn your camera on. We want to see your beautiful faces.
Play full out. Play full out. We like to play full out here. A lot of the people on this line, you guys eventually are going to be partnering together on deals. And if you are already part of our accelerator program, you know how we do. We play full out. So let's go ahead and let's get everybody in. We're just taking a couple minutes, making sure everybody's good to go in here. Good to see you guys' beautiful faces. Salute to you guys starting with us early today. We got a ton of value here. We got some great coaches on the line. Just a lot of really good information. Again, while we're bringing people in, this is not any type of sales program. It's really just, hey, we haven't done this before. We want to provide you massive value. I'm really excited. I see a lot of people in here. David Mason, what's going on, man? Good to have you.
Yes.
Taden, really excited to see you, brother. Good to see you in here. Reggie Caldwell, excited to see you. Deborah Bradley, Derek and Alina, two of our favorite new students. Lonnie's in here. What's going on, Lonnie? Jasmine Mead, what's going on? Hopefully we'll see John here.
Raider Rudy, now you made sure to put both the names in there so people know who you are.
No, really excited. So cool. We're going to respect your time. It is 9 a.m., so we'll keep allowing people to come through. Welcome to the first ever virtual mastermind here with me, my beautiful queen, Samira, and our fine coaches. We got a lot of information for you guys. And again, we just wanted to start this and say, hey, we got a lot of new coaches on the program. We got Brandon Boyd, Jason Session, Jason Gully, Mark Anthony, and we said, you know, we got all these great people here. Why not do something special for everybody? Why not put together just a one-day mastermind where we can take all of our brain power, combine it, and just share it for everybody that's hungry out there getting in the field.
Yeah, so we're so excited. It's so exciting to see everybody kind of coming in here, excited to learn. Again, this is just massive value. We've got a lot of trainings for you guys. We'll go over the agenda in just a minute here, but the main thing here is we want to collaborate, connect you guys. I know everybody's been seeing each other on Facebook. We've been messaging each other, but now we get to see each other face to face. So this is your opportunity to network and connect with other people. We're going to have a session where we're going to allow you guys to get online and speak and share, you know, some of the things that you need in your business and some of the things that you have. And just got a lot of great value for you guys. So give us 1 second. We're going to get into the agenda here in a second. But we're letting other people in.
If you think it was just going to be me and Samira talking today, you thought wrong. I'm just excited to be able to sit back, relax, and let our coaches do the talking. While we're pulling it up, I want to give a special shout out to our coach, Jason Gully. Yesterday, we were talking during one of our meetings. He said he was able to fulfill something that was on his vision board, which is to get a brand new truck for him and his family. And he was able to do that because of mobile home investing, man. Jason, I just want to give you a chance to speak on that, man, because this is why we're in this. We're in this to live out what's on that vision board.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, vision boards was something that was introduced to me earlier last year. And when we started in January, we had kind of a vision board party at my sister's house, and we all sat around and we made our vision boards for the year right there at the first week of January. And that was one of the visions I had. One of the things I had on my vision board was to be able to buy a new truck for my family. I mean, we had a nice vehicle. That wasn't the issue at all. But for my business and to be able to provide something that's more comfortable, nicer for my family is always something that's always at the top of my list because my family comes first. And so, I mean, to be able to buy this truck, we bought a 2020 F-150. It's a beautiful truck. It's been my dream truck for a long time. And yeah, man, and it was all about from mobile home investing. If it wasn't for this business and the way things have been going, the way God has been blessing us, it definitely wouldn't have been possible. And so, you know, again, like I told you guys yesterday, big kudos to Jay and Samira. You know, they were a huge part of making that vision come true. So you guys are in fantastic hands when it comes to these guys. So listen to what they have to say. They will lead you down the right path and you will become successful. I promise you.
Salute to you, man. Hey, we appreciate you for trusting our process. You put the hard work in, but now you're my enemy because now you're putting the pressure on me. Now I got to step up in the household and do something extra for it, something crossed off the vision board. So we're going to let my queen take over for a second. If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to play full out. You know, put your camera on. We're all a family. No reason to be shy. You're going to be called on. We used to call it the hot seat until Coach Boyd changed it up and called it the opportunity seat. So you never know when you get called on. So let's play full out. We're here to get value. We're here to receive value and give as much value as possible.
Absolutely. So make sure you have your notepads ready, cameras on. We want to make sure you guys are engaged. So we are about to go over the agenda so you guys can really see what's going to be taking place today and where your time is going. Let me present this. All right. So welcome again. Today's agenda looks like this. It's slam packed. We wanted to pack this event with so much value for you guys. And so everything is going back to back to back. So you got to be ready. Make sure you have some water or something near you because there's not many breaks we're taking in the next 3 hours. But nonetheless, you guys are going to get a ton of value. So getting started, we're going to just do our welcome here. Make sure that you guys understand what this is about. That's just letting people in as we get started.
Drop in the chat where you are from.
Yes.
We want to know where you're investing from. It's the easiest way to start networking. And we want to make sure the chat feature is working. So make sure you drop that in there for us.
Yes, make sure you connect with people in your location. From 9:15 to 9:45, we're going to be Jason, Coach Goalie and Session are going to be going over Wholesaling 101. They've got a great presentation for you guys. I know a lot of people get kind of stuck up on wholesaling. What's the process? How do I do this? What contracts? They're going to go through everything step by step for you guys.
And the question we get a lot is like, how do I tell the difference between wholesaling and brokering a deal? Like, what's the difference between the two? So these two, man, this is their bread and butter. They've done a ton of deals. Jason's working on a few opportunities, or Coach Dudley's working on a few opportunities this weekend. I think you said maybe 2 or 3 opportunities you're working on. So definitely tune in. A lot of good information here.
Yes. From 9:45 to 9:15, Mr. J is going to give you some negotiation tips for buyers and sellers. I know that's a lot of what you guys requested on the application and say, hey, how do I negotiate with these sellers? What do I say? What do I not say? So he's going to give you a lot of value on that. From 10:15 to 10:45, Coach Brandon's going to talk about mastering your time, where your KPIs, how to track your time, and how to save your time with more systems and automation.
Guys, tune into those systems. If you're brand new, don't get overwhelmed. We still want you going through the process, still getting that basic information. But man, Brandon's doing some amazing things with some of the systems that we go over during our calls, our accelerator calls. And he's done a great job of implementing them in his business. So definitely take some notes there.
Absolutely. Then from 10:45 to 11:15, we've got Mark Anthony, Coach Mark. He's going to be teaching about virtual deals. Just your best practices when partnering with other students and also doing deals out of state. He's done a lot of deals. He's located in Arizona. He's done deals in multiple states, at least 6 or 7 other states, partnering with other students.
A lot of good information.
And so he's going to give you guys some really, really good gems on that. And then from 11:15 to 11:45, I'm going to be hosting the Haves and Wants session for you guys. So this is your chance to speak up, let people know who you are, where you're at, what you need, what you have to bring value to the group. And so we're super, super excited to have you. And then lastly, we're going to just be doing some key takeaways at the end. We want to hear their feedback from this event, what you guys are learning, because as you're sharing what you're learning, other people are going to be able to remember, oh yeah, that was a point, something maybe you caught. They can now kind of write down and make sure that that's settling in for them.
And then if you guys are interested in looking further and working with all the coaches further on, we'll give you the opportunity to do so. But again, we're just here to bring you massive value. So we got a few minutes. Let's go into some of the expectations.
So again, play full out, engage, guys. We want to hear what you guys have to say. If there's some questions that you guys have as we're going through the training, make sure you drop them in the chat. We're going to be going back into the chat throughout in between each session and make sure we answer as many of those questions as we can. But the main thing here is stay focused, engage. You're going to get a ton of value on this call.
Some of you guys, it's the afternoon for you. It's Saturday. Come on, let's do this. If we're here, let's really be engaged. Let's get some value and let's leave today with a bunch of momentum we can take into the business, into the field.
Yes. Mute your line while others are presenting. We want to make sure that the speaker view stays on the presenter and not on something that's, you know, some loud noise in the background. So we're going to be trying to go in and definitely mute as they're presenting, but just be aware that your line can go unmuted. So do your best to stay muted and be respectful of the presenters. Keep your cameras on. We want to see you. We want to make sure you're there, you're engaged. So as much as you can, just keep your cameras on. We want to make sure that, you know, if you're there, you're here throughout the entire event. Ask questions.
There are no dumb questions, guys. You know, sometimes we'll get on phone calls and we have to put people on that opportunity seat just to spark some engagement, spark some conversation, because sometimes people are just afraid to ask questions. You might feel like it's a stupid question. There are no dumb questions. When I started out, man, Samara almost had to put like a sock in my mouth or something because I was asking every single question out there. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's how you're going to learn, and that's how others are going to learn too. And lastly, we just want to we want you to be able to post your feedback in the Facebook community after this event. There's a lot of people that maybe couldn't make it. And so we want to brag about how awesome this event was to them. But we also want to hear your feedback. We want to make sure that this is valuable to you guys and you're getting a lot from it.
And we want to see if you guys like it. We want to do something bigger and better next quarter. Eventually, once we get to that new norm, once this social distancing thing is over, we eventually want to do this in person. So a live event, but we got to make sure that we can handle this virtual event first before we go live. So I want to make sure you guys are getting value today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So those are the expectations, guys.
We got a couple minutes. Let's get into some of the comments. Let's approve. There's about six more people waiting.
Yeah, if you guys can, just drop in the chat, you know, what do you guys, you know, what are some of your expectations from today? What do you guys want to learn? What are you excited about? We just want to hear your feedback as we get started. Just drop it in the chat. We'll read some of those comments before we get started.
And a bunch of you just joined in. So again, play full out, get your camera on. Let's get ready to go. Let's get into some of these comments. Karina says she's driving. She'll add her camera on shortly. Good to see you. Karina came in from day one.
Karina was one of our very, very first students. So welcome, Karina. We're excited to have you.
James coming in out of Orlando, Florida. Taden, Las Vegas, Nevada. Ben coming in out of, Austin, Texas. Deborah, she's coming in from Orlando. Andres, our good friend Andres, coming in out of Phoenix. We got Kim in here, Grand Rapids. A lot of people, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Phoenix, Michigan, Atlanta, San Antonio, Texas, Los Angeles, Dallas. They're coming in.
And if you guys are seeing somebody in your location, make sure you connect with them. You want to make sure that you know who's around you. You guys can help each other. You can partner with each other. That's the goal right here. It's just being able to connect with other people in your area.
Andre says, I will probably get extremely motivated to pursue more opportunities and grow my business bigger than I am currently thinking.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love
Houston,
it.
Texas up in here. My biggest challenge is time, ready to run this like a business.
Go.
Hey, Coach Boyd is going to make sure that he sets the record straight with you. He's going to get you started off on the right foot. We got a lot of Alabama, St. Louis, man. Taden says he's excited to hear the negotiating tips and learn how to manage my time to maximize return.
That's something that we kept hearing too is, hey, I'm working this business outside of my 9 to 5. How do I manage my time? How do I manage my time? How do I manage my time? This is something that is going to be a constant, challenge and a constant battle as you continue to grow your business. But it's just about expanding your capacity a little by little, using some of the systems we talk about, using other people, delegating. There's just so many things that you can implement. But the main thing is if you don't know where your time is going, if you're not tracking your time is you're going to feel like that consistently. So you got to get really good control of your time. So I'm excited for Brandon to go into that.
James says, I'm just looking forward to learn. Excited to be here. We are excited to have you, man. There's so many rock stars in here. We just allowed a few more people in here starting out. So I got a couple more messages. We'll get into it and then we'll pass the mic over. Michael says, let's get ready to learn from the vets. Excited to hear all the abundance of knowledge and wisdom. And guys, we come to you in complete humility. You know, we are not know-it-alls. We are learn-it-alls. We just like sharing. I think we've gotten to where we are in life right now because we consistently do masterminds. I think we probably do somewhere between 3 to 4 masterminds a month, just with people. Some people that are doing better than us, some people that are doing kind of like on average as us, and some people not doing so well. But it's okay because it's each one teach one, each one reach one type of mindset. We can all come here and learn together and grow together. So Without further ado, you got a couple extra minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over.
Yeah. So Mr. Jason Gully and Mr. Jason Session, is your time to rock on with the Wholesaling 101. If you guys want to go ahead and get started, we'll continue to let people in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy that everybody's here. What an amazing turnout, man. This is phenomenal. I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, my name is Jason Gully. I'm from Houston, Texas. We're going to jump into this. Jason, you want to introduce yourself real quick? And as I'm pulling this up.
Yeah, most definitely. How everyone doing? I'm Jason Session. I'm out of San Antonio, Texas. Real excited to share our knowledge. I'm sure Jason Gully is too about why we love wholesaling. So hope you guys tune in and got your notepads ready. So I'm ready to get started when you guys are ready to get started.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And Jason, while you're pulling it up, man, I'm going to give you a chance to pull it up. I just want to make sure you guys know who these guys are. We did not give you a proper introduction. You guys are new coaches to the TCA program, and they're doing some amazing things. They're doing multiple wholesale deals, multiple broker deals. And man, if you look in the group and you just scan the group as a whole, you'll see Jason Session and Coach Gully consistently posting up deals that they've completed. They've got a ton of knowledge. They're really, really good at wholesaling and getting these contracts fine-tuned and really just putting their clients first. So just wanted to make sure I gave you guys that proper introduction.
And what I love about these two is they make it so simple. I think a lot of people really overcomplicate it. They've done enough transactions to where it's just very simple. They're very transparent with their clients. They're there to serve. They're there to help. And they just walk them through the process, and they're getting deals done in literally days, a few days. You guys will see that on some of their deal reviews that they're going to do in their case studies. But we're going to pass it back to you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys know what you're talking about when it comes to wholesaling, so make sure you guys are taking notes.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys for that introduction. I appreciate it so much. All right, let's jump into this. Jason, do you want to start taking over the first part of the slides, and we'll go from there, buddy?
Yes, sir. Let's get started.
Let's do this.
So we're talking about wholesaling mobile homes. You can go to the next slide. All right. Why do we choose wholesaling? It's a great way to build capital. That's first and foremost. It's going to put that cash in your pocket for later when you want to start. You might want to buy a home and owner finance it out or whatever you want to do with your money. Help your family pay other bills. But wholesaling is going to put cash money in your pocket. So that's the number one reason why I like it. Also, you can service your retail market. You got different clients out there that got, prices on their homes are high. You got some that's really low. You can help all of them out by wholesaling. If they got a mortgage on them or anything, you can wholesale literally anything. I think one of the reasons I'm so good at wholesaling is because you can wholesale anything. I used to sell a lot of different things, and it's just wholesaling, one-on-one. But with, when you're using mobile homes, the only difference is, using a contract. So make sure you get that contract together, and make sure you know how to work that piece. That's the most important piece when you are looking at the mobile home piece of it. Another reason why is you're not using any money in a deal. And I think when Jan Samara explained that to me, I really couldn't believe it at first, but until I did my first deal. I mean, literally, you're not spending any money. It's really all just, you bringing value to the seller and finding a buyer for the deal. You're really just that middle person bringing the two together, and you getting a difference of that amount. And the last thing we got here is you helping people, solve their problems by helping them sell their mobile home. And that's pretty self-explanatory. You can go to the next one too.
Absolutely.
So what is wholesaling? Kind of mentioned that before. It's simply putting a mobile home under contract with a seller at a price, preferably a low price, and then marketing that mobile home to a potential buyer at a higher price. And once you find that buyer, that's when you bring in those contracts, you get those things filled out, and you get the difference. And that's pretty much, that's that's it. I don't know if you want to speak on that, Jay, but
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, at this point, I want to kind of explain and kind of go into detail the difference between brokering and wholesaling at this point. I mean, I think a lot of people get confused on what is the difference between the two, right? So let me hit on brokering. Brokering is a strategy that when you put a home under contract, you're going to put it under contract with a seller, but you are actually saying, I'm going to be basically like a real estate agent for you. I'm going to market your home. I'm going to, put it out there in front of everybody. I'm going to do the showings and all that, but I'm going to charge you a flat fee for my services. So say, for instance, if you charge them, say, $3,000, once, the home is sold and the closing done, they will pay you, the actual seller will pay you $3,000 for your services. Now, when it comes to wholesaling, you're actually not getting paid by the seller. You're getting paid by the buyer at the end of closing. So like Jason was saying, when you put a home under contract, say, for instance, you put it under contract for $20,000, you market it for $25,000, there's a $5,000 difference between the two. So the buyer is going to give you $5,000 earnest money. That is your pay for the difference between what you have it under contract for and what you have it under contract with the buyer for. So that's the big difference between brokering and wholesaling. You're wholesaling, you're getting paid by the buyer. That's where you get your money. If you're brokering, you're getting paid by the seller, for your services. I hope that kind of explains. I want to kind of make sure that people understood the difference between the two, because I think a lot of people get confused on that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. Brokering is pretty much just, it's like asking for a commission. Mm-hmm. And when you get into that, you definitely need to be licensed. So go to the next slide, Jim. All right. So where do we find our sellers at? Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, Driving for Dollars. My go-to is Bandit Signs, networking with other investors, which is starting to pick up here for myself as well. I know a lot of other techie people like Brandon. He does like the SEOs and also the mail campaigns. Those are other good ways to find your seller. And
I want to touch real quick on. I want to really encourage people. Every area has single-family investors, multifamily investors that do this on a full-time basis. Really connect with those people. I promise. I mean, it's been blowing my mind how many leads they send me on a daily basis. Growing relationships with those people is super important, and I promise you, it's been crazy how many leads have come my way just from other investors that they don't want to mess with mobile homes, or they don't know how to mess with mobile homes, so they're going to give them to you, and then you work out an agreement with them as far as a little fee for their services for bringing the lead to you. But I mean, it's a huge opportunity. So I really would like to encourage everybody, really take advantage of that. It's really a great opportunity. So just wanted to hit on that. You ready for the next slide?
I would just go to a caveat on what Jason Gully said. Getting with those investors, that can be definitely a big win for you guys. I met an investor last week, and he's already put me on 2 mobile homes and ready just to release some more on me because his company, they just literally throw them in the trash. So it's definitely a win for both parties with working with investors.
Awesome. Well, let's go into some contracts and stuff like that. So once you find a lead and once you get somebody and you're ready to, get ready to set the appointment, you're on the phone with the seller, you're going over things. This is the lead sheet that is in the Trailer Cash Academy modules. This is what I use every single day. I have it right here in my files. It's the first sheet that you're going to see in each one of my files. So when I'm on the phone with the seller, this is the sheet that I'm going to be filling out. I mean, you need a template to be able to kind of make sure that you're asking all the right questions, make sure that you're getting all the proper information that you need to proceed. So once you get on the appointment, you've got all the information you need to go forward with the appointment. Just right here, I don't know if anybody can see my cursor. But I mean, obviously your name is going to be at the top. I mean, you want to find out, the park profile. If the home is in a park, get the park profile, get the park name. Is it a family park? Is it 55 up park? Get the address, all that good information there. Next under there is your seller profile. This is very, very important. Seller's name, phone number, do they owe any back taxes? How long do they need to be able to vacate the home? Just all that proper information that you're going to need. Unit profile, talking about the home itself, how big it is, how many bedrooms, baths, window units, central heat, is it siding, is it wood paneling, whatever the case may be. So really going in, and then at the bottom right here, what are they asking, right? And you'll notice there's a difference between what they're asking and the amount needed. There's going to be a difference, I promise you, because they may be asking $20,000 for their home, but when you go on the appointment, they say, well, if I can get $15,000 for it, I'll be good to go, right? So there's going to be a difference, always a difference, because you're going in, you're going to negotiate, and Jay's going to give some awesome info on how to negotiate with sellers. So, and then you have a place to write your appointment in and file this away and get ready to go. So once you get the appointment, I'll always flip this page here to the back of the lead sheet. So when I'm at my appointment, I have my clipboard, I have this page out. When I'm talking to the seller, we're walking through the home, we're checking everything out. As I'm visiting with them, building rapport, talking to them about, what they do for a living, what are they going to do with the money that they have? This whole business is about building rapport with the seller. And so as I'm building rapport with the seller, I'm checking out the roof, I'm checking out the ceiling, I'm checking out the flooring. Is there any soft spots in the flooring? Checking the plumbing, make sure there's no leaks in the plumbing. Checking the underbelly, make sure that, the insulation's not falling out everywhere, or if there's maybe any leaky pipes or anything like that. Checking for electrical, windows, just checking, because these things, when you're doing this, these are also things that a lot of homeowners know that they're there, but they like to forget that they're there. You're there to kind of friendly remind them, hey, you do have some soft spots here and there. It's going to cost about this much to repair those. So the buyer is going to have to take upon that, that expense when they purchase the home. So keep that in mind when you're, these are great negotiation tools when you're negotiating price with them, to kind of point out some of the issues. And you're not being there, you're there to be Johnny Raincloud or anything like that, where you're just showing them all the issues of the house. I mean, I'm constantly saying, oh man, this is beautiful. This looks really great. Oh man, I see that y'all put new flooring over here. That looks so good. But also being able to have the opportunity to say, there's some issues here, there's a few issues there, and those things are going to cost money to get fixed. And so I would highly recommend kind of getting some estimates of what things cost in your area to repair in homes. That way you can kind of give people an idea of what it would cost to replace subflooring, or what it would cost to fix a roof on a single wide 16 by 76 mobile home, things like that. Just kind of get, have some prices and have those written down on your clipboard so you can kind of show your clients what they're looking at. So Jason, do you have anything you want to add on this?
No, I mean, I think you hit every point. At the end of the day, this is a negotiation tool to get that wholesale price lower. So it's only going to add to your assignment fee and the portion you get. So I think you hit that pretty good, Jason.
Awesome. All right. Let's go on to contracts real quick. So this is this is also, again, every single thing you're going to see here is in the modules in the TCA education program. So this is the non-exclusive option agreement to purchase manufactured home. This is the contract that I use between myself and the seller. Okay. So this is the contract that once we come agreement on a price on how much the home that they would like to walk away with, this is the contract that I use. So it's very self-explanatory. The date, you want to put the seller's information right here at the top, the buyer's information right here, which is going to be your information, by the way. You're going to put your information right here. And then obviously everything else is pretty self-explanatory. The VIN number of the home, property address, park information, that type of stuff. On number 2, you have your purchase price. Now this is going to be the purchase price that you agree upon. If they say, okay, if you can give me $20,000, I'll walk away at $20,000. Well, this is where you're going to put that $20,000 number right there. And that's going to be net to the seller at closing, okay? Option consideration. This is where if you were to, in the wholesale, you're not exchanging any money with the seller at all. So I'm always putting 0 right here because we're not exchanging any money in our transaction, okay? So there's no money being exchanged. I do all my contracts for 90 days. That's just kind of what I've adopted. I've never had to renew a contract, but I always set it for 90 days as a good round number for every seller. They really like that. And so I put that 90-day, from the day we signed the contract, 90 days from that date, I put that date right there. Closing procedures, this just kind of goes over everything for them to expect if you were to actually purchase the home. This kind of goes over all the closing procedures that would go with that. And then your offer and acceptance. The offer, for me personally, I've added a little bit to this, but for this purpose, keep it the way it is. If you want to add a little bit to the contracts, you're more than welcome to. But this is just, again, I put that 90-day date right here as well of when the contract expires. And this just says, this agreement is binding on the heirs, administrators, executors, personal representatives, and successors of assigns of buyer and sellers. By signing below, each party accepts all the offer and enter an option agreement. What I tried to do, I tried to make sure that that all my sellers understand is they have this is an option agreement, right? And so they have the option to continue to sell their home if they want to, but I'm just an extra set of eyes and boots on the ground to help them get that home sold a little bit faster. So let's go to the next one real quick. This is the contract that I use when I'm doing it between myself and the buyer. So once I find a buyer for the home, we come to an agreement, we do a showing. They said, I love it. I'll take it for $25,000. Fantastic. Well, this is the contract I'm going to use between myself and the buyer. It's an offer to purchase earnest money contract. Again, it's very self-explanatory. All the buyer's information here at the top, location of the home, all the information about the home. If anything is going to stay with the home, washer, dryer, range, microwaves, anything that's going to stay that is part of the sale, you want to make sure you mark that right here. Everything else, this is just, making sure that, checking for liens and taxes and make sure the home is clear as far as liens and taxes are concerned before the sale takes place. That's your responsibility to also to help the seller make sure that their taxes are current, make sure that their liens are taken care of, and that type of stuff, excuse me. Sometimes if the home needs to be moved, it needs park approval to be moved. So this is what this talks about right here. I know in the state of Texas, the parks have first right of refusal on mobile homes in parks. And so just you need to check your own state to kind of see what their laws are on that. And then right here where it says earnest money, this is where your earnest money, this is the payday part right here. So if I have it under contract for $20,000, I'm selling to the buyer for $25,000. There's a $5,000 difference there. So if you're going to put $5,000 right there, and they're going to give you either cash or a cashier's check for $5,000. So that's the money right there. This just talks about what the earnest money does, that it's credited to the purchase price. And then obviously everybody signs, seals, and delivers right here at the bottom. So anything you want to add on that, Jason, real quick?
Yeah, just a little bit. I think you hit everything on the head, man, with these documents. Myself personally, I use a couple of different documents, but it hits all of this stuff. I also added a couple of things in my documents, like an assignment fee, administration fee. You guys might want to start instituting that for your time and stuff. In case somebody pull out or anything, I charge $500. So if someone pulls out or they breach the contract in any way, if they get approved or not get approved, I get that fee. You can make the contract your own as long as it's, it's good, and yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say, Jason, and
cool.
Keep going, man.
Awesome, man. And as we're moving forward, we're going to do some deal breakdowns real quick. I know we're running a little short on time, so I want to move through these pretty quick. Jason, I think these first two are yours. So let's move through these real quick. So I want to get some time for some Q&A for some of these folks as well. So.
All right, so this was my first ever mobile home I sold. So after looking on Facebook Marketplace for about almost 2 months, I finally came across one, and bought this, the lead source for Facebook Marketplace. I got it under contract for $3,000, and I ended up selling it for $6,000. When I got it under contract, until the time I sold it, it was I think that took about maybe a week and a half, and I profited $3,000 off this. And with this home right here, this the father of the son who was selling it, his father died, and he didn't know anything about mobile homes. They just needed some money to pay for the funeral. So, you know, I went and provided them some value, man. I wasn't trying to I could have made a whole lot off this one, but I didn't. I was just making sure I got them that $3,000, and that's how I got this one, and that's how I finished.
Nice, nice. All right.
All right, this one right here. This is a deal I did about a month and a half ago. Seen it for sale by owner sign. I was driving for dollars. One thing I do when I see those signs, I call them right there on the spot. 9 times out of 10, they pick up, and 9 times out of 10, they don't want to be the ones whose phone number is on that sign. So I let them know what kind of value I can bring to them. Let me sell it for you. I don't make any money off you. I let them know I make my money on the buyer's end, and the owners 9 times out of 10 they want to work with me. So put this home under contract for $33,000. I think we sold it maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later for $36,000, and I profited $3,000 off this deal. And
Nice.
another story with this home is a guy who owned the home. He flips the homes, so I keep his number in my back pocket as well. And I also want to tell Jay, the home that I'm working with you with, that's the home on the other side right there.
Nice. Oh, to the right. Nice.
To the right.
That's cool. Yeah.
Man. Second partner opportunity. I'm looking forward to closing this one out.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Heck yeah. All right, let's move on. So this is a deal that I did, and matter of fact, as soon as we're done with this mastermind, I'm headed over to close on this one right here. So we're getting ready to close on it today. This lead was from a single family investor, a guy that I've met through networking. He gave me this lead. Got it under contract for $35,000. It's a 2015 double wide. We sold it within 2 days for $40,000. Profit was $5,000. This family here, it's on personal property. They're getting ready. They're actually laying the foundation right now for their brand new home. And so they're wanting to get this home out of the way so they can get ready to start building their home. And so, it's been a huge blessing to help this family. They're a young couple with a couple of young kids. And what a blessing it is to be able to help this family out and to get this burden off. And they have a mortgage on it, so they're going to be able to pay their mortgage off and get that bill, $1,000 a month, where they don't have to worry about that anymore, and they can just focus on selling building their dream home. So super excited about that one. Deal number 4, found this one here. It's another double wide. It was a 2006 model, double wide. Found it on Facebook Marketplace. Got it under contract for $41,000 and sold it for $43,000 for a $2,000 profit. So the story behind this one real quick, this couple here, they actually, again, this is on private land. They had already built their dream home this is on 2 acres. They built it on the front part of their property. Their home had been built. They've been out of this house for almost a year, and they've been trying to sell it for 8 months, and we got it sold in 19 days. And so it's just a matter of bringing massive opportunities and to these people and being able to bring them value. And so we were able to get this one done, like I said, in 19 days after they were been trying to sell it for 8 months. So super excited for them. Matter of fact, I just talked to them the other day. It's already been moved off the property, and they're very happy. So hey, don't stress. I know this is a lot of information. I know this can kind of be information overload, and I know we kind of ran through it pretty quickly. So I just want to make sure that do not get any, no analysis paralysis and trying to overthink the process. The process is not hard. It can be very overwhelming at times, but once you do it, it's super simple. It's repetitive over and over. But I want to encourage everybody just to take massive imperfect action. That is required. Do not think you have to know everything up front before you start taking action. Like we were saying the other day, read and apply, read and apply, read and apply. I cannot stress that enough. Get out there and make that, take that massive imperfect action. So with that being said, I am going to open it up, Jay and Samir, for some Q&A. Anybody has any questions, we'd love to hear from them. So let me get this off the screen.
few questions in the chat. So do you want me to start going through some of the ones that have recently?
I'll start reading off a few of the questions. Alexia wants to know, is wholesaling only used for payments in full?
Jason, you want to hit that one while I'm figuring out the screen here?
Wholesale only used for payment in full. Yeah, pretty much it is. Yeah, 9 times out of 10 is yes. Cash only deals is what I normally work with. Now, sometimes how I receive my payment, say if the seller needs, he needs the money for a little while for something important or an emergency or anything, and I feel like, I could trust him or whatever, because I have those contracts. I tell him, hey man, just pay me in increments, because that last home I showed, I'm about to collect $500, my second payment of $500 from him tomorrow. Well, today's the first, probably today. So sometimes I get mines in payments. I don't always take the cash up front. It just depends on the situation,
Yeah, and I'll add a little bit to that. The only times that I've seen you be able to collect payments on a wholesale deal is when the seller is asking for, significantly less than you're selling it for. So let's just say, the seller saying, hey, I just want $5,000, but you're able to wholesale that property for maybe $15,000 cash and $20,000 on payments. Well, what you can do is get $5,000 down from the buyer and then cash flow the rest of that, which would be typically your fee. So that's the only time I've ever seen anybody do financing on the buyer side with wholesaling.
We've done one of those before.
Yeah, but most of the time it's cash only deals, so you can get in and out really quickly.
Absolutely.
And then we got a question here from Reggie. He says, what happens when you are not able to sell the home within 90 days of the contract with the seller?
Yeah, no, Rich, that's a great question. I mean, for me personally, it hasn't happened yet. But what I tell the sellers is that if we've reached the 90 days, they have two options. They can either, the contract would be null and void. We'll just move on, let bygones be bygones, shake hands and move forward. Or we can redo the contract for another 90 days. Again, I haven't had that happen yet. I think, in this business here, if you start building your buyers list, building a network with other investors, really building your network up as far as those people are concerned, you should, and you're getting them at the right price, you should have no issue getting these sold long before that 90-day expiration date hits. So I just have that there as a kind of a comfort for my sellers. So yeah, that's basically
rapid fire, trying to get as many as we can in time. Again, guys, if you have additional questions, feel free to post them in the group. Community, our coaches are already locked in. We'll get all these answered. Tatum says, do you disclose that you are not a licensed dealer? There are plenty of people that have reached out to dealers and then come across me. I don't want any legal backlash, so I usually distinguish myself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the only time I've ever had someone ask me about if I was a licensed dealer was when I was dealing with a park manager one time. And I just explained to her that I wasn't. I mean, like Jay and Samaria said in the beginning, I'm 100% transparent with everybody I deal with. I let them know exactly what I do, how I do it, how I get paid, how they get paid. I mean, I don't hold nothing back. I mean, it is 1,000% transparency, because I want to make sure that the sellers, the buyers, and everybody that's involved in the transaction is on the same page. And so if you make sure that everybody is on the same page, 99% of the time that everything goes very smooth, and they have a lot more respect for you too, that you're transparent with them. So.
Absolutely. Leading with transparency on the side of serving. We got a question from Maya. While the home is under contract, do you still allow the owner to do their own advertising?
Yeah,
so myself, no, I don't really allow the owners. I won't say allow, but I tell them, when I got you under contract, I'm the only one you can work with. And for me, I've been successful that way. So I don't go the non-exclusive route when wholesaling a home. I always go exclusive. You're just going to work with me, and that's just the way I operate.
How about you, Goalie? I know you use the non-exclusive agreement.
Yeah, exactly. I use the non-exclusive. I do a little bit opposite of Jason. And what Jason does is nothing wrong with how Jason does it at all. So don't take that wrong at all, guys. I just prefer doing the non-exclusive option agreement. That way, I mean, for me, I've just noticed that For my sellers, it kind of gives them that comfort of knowing that they're not just bound to me, that if they find a buyer before me, hey, great. At the end of the day, their goal is to try to sell their home. I've worked out a lot of deals where, even if they did find a buyer, I charge $500 to perform a closing, and so I'll tell them, hey, I'll provide you a service. Even if you find a buyer for me, if you want me to facilitate the closing, I'll draw all the documents up and I'll perform the closing for you and facilitate it for $500. And so I get a lot of those as well too. So
do you restrict them from like posting the home online or even having a sign in the window, or is it like, hey, however you want to sell it, I'm just going to bring my buyers here? How do you handle those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really restrict them that much. I really don't. I don't know. I think I just, for me, and this is just me speaking for myself, I know that I can get these homes sold pretty quick. And so I'm pretty confident that I'm going to probably find a buyer before they do, especially if I go into a seller and they say, hey, I've been trying to sell this thing for 3 months now, and I've had it on Facebook and Craigslist and all this, and I haven't been able to sell it. Continue to market your home. Let me go find you a buyer for it. I got you.
Yeah. For me, man, I like putting a line over their number and writing my number in there, putting a piece of tape over it. I like my number on everything they already previously had on their home. So, and like I said, that's the way I operate. And I think a big difference between me and Jay is he used 90 days. My contracts are normally 30 to 45 days. Cool. So I think that's a big difference between why he's more open to non-exclusive and I'm just more exclusive, because if I can't sell it between 30 and 45 days, then, I mean, after that, you have the option to work with other people if you want to at that point or not. Or if you can continue to work with me, it's totally up to the buyer. So.
Yeah, we were talking, me and Gully yesterday, and we said the only time we use exclusive contracts is when the home is vacant and when that seller lives in another state. Other than that, we're always going for the non-exclusive. So we'll try to get a couple more questions in here. I know we're going to be maybe 1 or 2 minutes over time. Let's try to get a couple more. What have you found to be the number one reason why the seller can't sell themselves, especially if you found the home on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, the biggest thing I've noticed is that how they market it on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, they may have like 1 picture or 2 pictures on there. I mean, like for me, I take 20, and you're going to see 20 pictures on there. You're going to get every angle of the home. I do video walkthroughs with, like music in the background, make it very professional. So when people do start, like when I do put the homes under contract and I start marketing like on Facebook Marketplace, I put at the bottom, video tour available upon request. And so they'll hit me up and I'll send, once they hit me up on Messenger, I'll send them a video walkthrough. And I mean, that's been super successful, but that's been the biggest reason. I just don't think people, not everybody's, into marketing. So, they put home for sale and a couple of pictures and that's about it, so there's not a whole lot of detail in their marketing. And I like to make sure there's a lot of detail in my marketing so people know what they're looking at. So.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. I think that's huge because a lot of times the sellers, they'll post like 1 picture of the front and it's like home for sale. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, the marketing, how you market is super important.
Cool. And we'll get one more question through. Again, guys, we want to get all of your questions answered. So you're still going to have access just by posting these questions. Just be engaged in the community. So here's the last one. So on the contract between you and the buyer, I see you put the amount you will receive. Where on the contract do you put the full amount you're selling the home for?
Yeah, so on that contract, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Get to it. I know we're on time.
Don't worry. We usually put ours right on top.
Yeah, I think there's a place.
Yeah, that's where I put mine too.
Yeah.
Without putting anybody's information on, just right on top of right here is what you're selling the home for in total price. So like this one here is $40,000. That was after $40,000 total. Then minus the $5,000 they're going to give, they already gave for earnest money. So they're going to bring a cashier's check for $35,000 today for that home. So.
Perfect.
Hey man, round of applause to Coach Money and Coach Session, man.
That was awesome, y'all.
Dang, I gotta come after all that. That's trying to make you look bad.
Oh, you got it, Jay.
You got it.
No, I really appreciate you guys. I think you guys were able to break it down in a way that was really, really basic so that people can understand it. Because I think a lot of the questions that we get, at least on our kickoff sessions, like, okay, I went through all the modules, but I'm confused on, you know, wholesaling and brokering. And then what do I put on the contract? Do I disclose my fee? Do I not disclose my fee? I think you guys did a really great job in breaking that all down.
Yeah, no, you guys did awesome. We really, really appreciate
Did you guys get some
transparency. Yeah, let them know. If you guys got some value out of that training, definitely drop down in the chat. Thank them for their time and their energy, because, man, these guys are doing multiple wholesale deals a month.
Yeah.
So they've got this process down. They know they have their own styles. It's really good to see that you guys both have your own styles. You guys don't do everything the same, but it's the same concept. It's just you guys have figured out what works for you, and what works for you may not work for everybody, but it works. You got to figure out, you know, what you feel the most comfortable with. So definitely drop in the chat and thank them for their time.
And salute,
Thank you guys.
Both you guys are in the field right now doing deals, and you guys took time out of your busy schedule to come and deliver value today. So we really appreciate that. And getting a lot of comments here. So much value already. Right on. Awesome. Thank you guys. Great basic info. So helpful and encouraging. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Woo, we got a lot coming in.
Awesome insight, big gems drop. Man, it's so many. It's tons of value, guys. Great breakdown. Great.
And Goalie in session, these coaches they train our beginners coaching calls on Thursdays for accelerator students. That's the coaching session that we have that really breaks down the fundamentals and the mindset that it takes to really be successful with this. If you're in the accelerator program, definitely join with them on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m.
Guys, you're
Pacific time.
Make that meeting. I'm telling you, even Coach Boyd says wholesale guys with Coach G and Coach Session. I'm telling you guys do not want to miss that. You guys pay for that accelerator program. You guys are getting two of the best coaches and two of the best investors in the country when it comes to just beginning and doing these wholesale and broker deals. So definitely lock in with them.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. And they'll try to answer any questions they can in the chat. I know both of them have meetings and things that are going on, deals that they're closing today. So we appreciate you guys for taking out time, and we will move on to Jay's next event here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So, no, we are super excited, guys. The next session that we have for you is all about negotiating. I know that was a huge question that kept coming up. It's like, what do I say? What don't I say? How do I negotiate these? And I think that's some of the head trash that comes up in your head. It's like hard to, you know, like you feel like you're going to be at the closing table going back and forth. And it really isn't about that. It's about setting the expectation right from the beginning. So I know, Jay, you have a really good presentation you want to share.
Yes. I'm really excited. And just want to let you guys know, this won't be a step-by-step, you know, going to the home, calling the seller, going to the home, doing the inspection. This is really just tips. We want to make sure you guys get some of that head trash out of your head, and we want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success. One of the hardest things to do with sellers is really just gaining and establishing that trust, whether it's over the phone or in person. And this goes both ways with your buyers as well. So we'll go ahead, give us a couple seconds. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared.
Yeah, and if you guys have questions, again, Jay's going to go through his presentation first. Drop them in the chat. We'll come to the chat afterwards, and we'll answer as many questions as we can.
I'm going to go pretty quick through my slides because I want to allow a lot of time for Q&As, because honestly, between wholesaling and brokering and contracts and then just negotiation tips, we get a lot of questions like this on the kickoff session. So I'm going to try to get through all this in 15 to 20 minutes. So we have a ton of time for you guys. So give me a few seconds and we'll break it on down. So we're going to go into it. I just want you guys to know, when it comes to negotiating with sellers, there are 3 phases when it comes to this. So the first phase is your initial phone call. So one of the first things I want you guys to know is that tonality is important. I know a lot of you guys on this line are brand new, and sometimes you're calling the seller and you're sounding like a little like shaky. You're really, really scared. You're fearful that you don't want to get something wrong. It's okay that you're scared. That means you're human. You know, that fear, we all had it, but you want to try your best to just sound assertive, sound confident as possible when you're picking up that phone, because one of the biggest things that breaks that deal is that lack of trust that the seller has within you, because they don't hear that you sound confident. So if someone's calling you, or if you're calling them, make sure you're saying your name properly. Make sure you're saying your role within your business. Hey, I'm Jay with Dale Properties. You know, how can I serve you? It's simple as that. You're sounding very assertive. Your tonality is great. You're sounding upbeat. If you're answering the phone, hey, this is Jay. You know, how can I help? You're pretty much losing that opportunity. So make sure before you get on the phone call, whatever you have to do to generate some type of energy, so you make sure your tonality is clear throughout the conversation, you are doing that. Another thing is you want to qualify your seller, and you want to search for the motivation. Remember, guys, we're always looking for individuals that not want, but need to sell their home in 30 days or less. Don't be afraid to ask them that, hey, do you need to sell your home in 30 days or less? Are you looking to sell your home in 30 days? If I can get you an offer on this home, an offer that you love, would you be willing to be out of your home within 30 days? Don't be afraid to ask that, because if they're saying, I can go 60, I can go 90 days, they're really just shopping around what the best offer is. So with you using that tonality, you're basically letting them know, like, hey, I am busy. You're busy. I want to respect your time. I want to respect mine. We need to just make sure you're qualified, because those are the only appointments that we go to. When you're starting out, you might go to a few of those where they're not quite motivated to sell within 30 days just to get some experience. But as you get a couple deals under your belt, you're going to want to protect your time and protect your seller's time as well. Another thing is listening. Give them a chance to answer questions. I mean, that should have been asked questions. That's an error on my part, but give them a chance to ask questions. The worst thing you can do is go through the phone call, utilizing your sheet and just going through every single question that you have, and you never even give them a chance to talk. We actually did this in the beginning. We were so nervous. We were so scared. I wanted to make sure I didn't mess up. So I would get off the phone call. I would get all my questions answered. I would literally tell somebody, I did good on that one. And then I get a text message like 5 minutes later, hey, we're actually going to decide to go another route. And that happened a couple of times. And it wasn't until I started asking them to just be vulnerable themselves, like opening up some space to allow them to speak. Every person wants to make sure that they're being listened to. So it's really, really important that you allow them that space. Go through your questions, but make sure you have 2 to 5 minutes there, maybe even more, to just make sure that they get all their questions answered before setting that appointment. And then building trust and rapport. This goes a long way, guys. It starts over the phone, especially when you're driving for dollars and you're finding those for sale by owner signs. You want to make sure you're building as much trust and rapport as possible. So again, it starts with your tonality. It starts with qualifying them. And really, it starts with listening. Building trust and rapport for us has helped a ton by just allowing that seller the chance to speak. Sometimes they're going through some situations where, man, I just lost my job, or my mom just died, or my uncle's getting put into a home where they don't have anybody else to turn to. They don't want to feel like you're just trying to come in like another sleazy investor that they've talked to, and you're trying to make a buck off of them. Make sure that they are put first, they are being heard, and at the end of the day, you're really trying to build an ally with them. You want to build friendship first before any type of transaction. So we're building transformation through trust and rapport before transactions, because you can refund transactions, you cannot refund a transformation. This is very important, guys. Set the expectation and give them your process. So whatever your process is, for Samira and myself, we let them know over the phone, hey, I'm going to come out to your home. It's going to be 15 to 20 minutes of your time. What I'm going to do is inspect the exterior. I'm also going to inspect the interior of your home. Once I'm done with my inspection, I'm going to take 5 minutes with you just to make sure I ask you a few questions. You can ask me a few questions, and I'm going to make sure I provide you an offer on the spot or within 24 hours. When you're setting that expectation right, now you're not putting that extra pressure on yourself, especially if you're new, to go in there and give them that offer on the spot. Sometimes you need to go do your inspection and really bring those questions back to your coach, or bring those questions back to the group. Make sure that you're providing them a solid offer before feeling all pressure. So make sure that they have that expectation right the first time. And then set the appointment as soon as possible, guys. Do not get off the phone call without setting an appointment. We always try to set the appointment same day if possible. So you're going off your schedule, of course, you're going off of that seller's schedule, but you want to let them know that you want to get this done as soon as possible, especially if they're motivated. You know anything about mobile home investing, if you're waiting 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even two, 3 or 4 days, sometimes they'll sell it right under you. So try to get out to that home as soon as possible. And then this is really huge, guys. Ask for pictures. I think the hardest thing for us is getting pictures when we're going inside of 55 plus opportunities. However, when you're able to get those pictures, sometimes that seller is extremely motivated. You can get some pictures of the interior and exterior and start negotiating over the phone. We try to stay away from negotiating over the phone as much as possible, but sometimes you will run into sellers that are extremely motivated. So this is all part of this phase one, the initial phone call. The biggest thing that you want to take away from that phone call is qualifying your seller, making sure that you build some rapport, giving them the chance to speak, you're listening to them, you're setting that appointment as soon as possible and protecting your time by only going to those motivated seller appointments, and you're asking for pictures if possible. So then we're going to go into some common objections that we see in the field, even from some of our students right now. So they're gonna be asking you, how much is my homework? You don't have to answer this question over the phone. A lot of the time, they don't know how much their home is worth, and you want to help them solve that problem, but it's going to take you getting into the home and doing that inspection. So what we like to say is, hey, we want to give you as much as possible for your home. And if I give you an offer over the phone right now, I'll actually be doing you a disservice as well as myself. So we want to make sure we take that additional time to make that appointment, get that inspection, and then give them an offer. Again, sometimes they're just trying to shop offers around. So if they're not motivated, you can really tell from the seller, because that's what they're coming with first and foremost is, how much can you give me? How much is my home worth? Just take that control back by slowing it down, giving them that expectation, giving them your process. They're also going to be asking you, what's your offer? Again, guys, do not feel pressured to give an offer over the phone. This is something that we stay away from, because it's very, very hard to gain trust and gain rapport over the phone. We like to only give offers in person, or if we do give an offer over the phone, it's post appointment. So we've already done our inspection, they've met us in person. At that point, it's okay to get on a phone call and give them an offer, but we want to stay away from that. So what we usually like to say is, again, you're going to get an offer from us within 24 hours, or even that same day when we come out to view the appointment. So don't feel pressured to give the appointment, give the offer over the phone, because you just don't know. You haven't inspected the home yet. You haven't inspected that park. You haven't inspected what's around the community, you know, what amenities that park has. So just letting them know that you have to do your due diligence, again, to put the most money in their pocket. Another objection you get is, why do you need to see the home before giving an offer? Kind of just touched on this. Again, we don't want to just make guesses. Unless you're very, very certain you've worked in a park a few times, you know exactly what type of homes are in that community, you always want to make sure that you're taking that control back and giving them a chance to build some patience themselves. We don't like providing offers on homes without doing our due diligence. You have to inspect the home, you have to inspect the park and the neighborhood. When you're working in 55 plus communities and they hear you're very young, somebody like Tayden, you might sound like you're very young over the phone. Your sellers are gonna usually say, hey, you have to be 55 years or older to buy a home in this community. We have no problem letting them know that we are not looking to actually purchase the home. We're actually looking to bring a qualified buyer into the community who's going to be getting approved to stay in the home. So again, letting them know we're not looking to sell the home. We're not looking to buy the home and stay there ourselves. We're looking to come in and simply solve your problem. And then one of the biggest objections we get over the phone is, you have to speak to the park manager first. So this is going to be one of the tougher objections if you're brand new. What we like to tell the seller is, hey, you know, we understand the park manager's role and position, but legally, we do not have to speak to the park manager until we are going to put in an application to live in the home or in the community, or our buyer is coming in to get approved to live in the community. So you're going to have to do your best to educate them on that. Sometimes they're going to be very stern. Maybe they don't like the park manager. Maybe they've had some issues with the park manager in the past, but it's going to be your responsibility to control the conversation and lead with that education and let them know like there is a process for that. But we first need to make sure that this house even qualifies for something that we can even help serve you on. So make sure to take notes on that. Now, getting into phase 2, we're going to be talking about your inspection and your presentation. So this is one of the first things that you can do to make sure you get the sale the first time, get it on the contract the first time, dress appropriately. We're not talking about dressing up in a 3-piece suit, tuxedo, or anything like that, but don't be afraid to throw on, you know, some business casual attire. You want to make sure that you look as professional as possible, because that trust starts with there. If you're going in there with like ripped up jeans, if you're going in there with like basketball shorts and like jerseys and stuff like that, chances are you're just not going to get the sale unless you built a ton of rapport over the phone. So make sure you keep that in mind. This is one of my favorites. For some of you guys that are brand new, that are going on your first appointments, man, go to the dollar store, find yourself a clipboard. Just make it look like you're taking some notes. You're going to want to take notes anyway, but you want to make sure that you look as professional as possible. Samira knows I carry that clipboard everywhere. This is going to make it look like, man, this guy's got something going on. He's taking notes so that when you provide that offer, it's not just coming out of thin air. It means you're intentional with your time. It means you've been listening. It means you've been going through the home, taking some notes before just giving any type of offer. So make sure you guys have that. Be prepared with your contracts. If you built rapport over the phone, you built rapport in person. There's no reason why you can't get that home locked down under contract. The worst thing that you can do is just get there and not be prepared. So you want to make sure that you're prepared. Go through, have a small checklist for yourself. Do I have my contract? Do I have my clipboard before you even leave the house, just to make sure that you're ready to go? Because the easiest ways to lose a sale is, oh man, I gotta go home, or I gotta go to the car, or I gotta do this before I can get this home under contract. You want to make sure everything is ready to go right when that seller is motivated and wants to work with you in that moment. Keep the conversation about them. Learn their needs. So everybody wants to sell their home. Everybody wants to find a buyer, but there's usually some type of need there. So when you're talking about motivated sellers, usually they need to sell their home for some reason. Again, it can be some type of financial distress. They could have changed jobs. Maybe someone has passed away. They need to move this home. They need some money, or they need to get rid of the lot rent. So when you're doing your presentation, don't be afraid to slow it down. Take about 5-10 minutes, really just get them to open up. Sometimes you're going to need to do some digging because a lot of the sellers, they don't trust anyone. Maybe they've ran into some shady realtors, some other shady investors that only think about themselves, that are trying to come in and lowball them. So make sure you are able to dig and find their needs and make sure that they are being heard. Explain what's in it for them. We love to do this, especially when we're working with wholesale and broker opportunities. We like to let them know, like, hey, you know, what's in it for you is I want to get you everything that you want for your home, or at least as close as possible, without you having to do anything for it. And when we're using those non-exclusive agreements, we try to make a game out of it. Like, hey, who can find a buyer the fastest? You know, if I win, you're going to be able to sell your home. You're going to be able to walk away with what you wanted for the home. You're not going to have to do anything. We're going to do everything. We're going to find the buyer. We're going to get the buyer qualified. We're going to collect the cash. We're going to get all the contracts established. Because believe it or not, a lot of the sellers that you're dealing with, not only do they not really know how to market their home, but they've never really sold a mobile home before. So they don't know what contracts are needed to actually get the deal done. So make sure you educate them on what's in it for them. Don't feel rushed to give an offer. Some people, when you go into some of those first appointments, are going to be like, well, I thought you were going to come in and give me an offer right on the spot. Sometimes you're going to be able to, but sometimes you really need to take that information and compare it with some of the data that you have. Maybe compare it with some of the other homes in the community that have been sold, or any homes in the area that have been sold. So always giving them that expectation. That's why we say, hey, I can give you an offer same day or within 24 hours. So make sure you're not rushed, because when you're feeling rushed to give an offer, usually you're either giving too much or too little. I'm going as fast as possible to get to these questions. Be transparent. Coach Gully talked about this, and you know, this is who we are. We are very transparent. When you're using those broker deals, letting them know what your fee is. If they're staying in the wholesale space, well, you don't necessarily need to disclose what the fee is because you're going to give them your best wholesale offer. So just letting them know what you're going to do, being a man or woman of your word, and don't make them feel like you are leaving any type of information out. Don't be afraid to spend an hour with them and tell them anything and everything that you do, what's a part of your process, in order to get the deal done and build as much trust and rapport as possible. And then this is one that we really, really like. I'll show you guys when I come back on the screen. Leave a business card magnet on the refrigerator, because there's going to be a lot of times where the seller isn't going to be ready to sell right at that very moment. But if you do your proper follow-ups and you have that business card, we literally take our business cards, a regular business card, and we put a magnet on the back. And before I leave, I get permission. Hey, do you mind if I leave this here? So in the future, when you need me, you know exactly where the card is. A lot of the time, it's great you guys have your business card, but a lot of the time the seller will lose that business card. And then they'll go on Google and find your competitor on there because they just don't have your card. So I'll show you what that looks like. This has helped us close a ton of deals just literally by taking the initiative to put this little magnet on their refrigerator. And we're going to the next step, which is phase 3 of presenting your offer. You can do this you can do this over the phone, typically 24 to 48 hours after the inspection. This is where we said it is okay to get on the phone call after they've actually seen you in person. So as long as you set the right expectation, they will be okay with that. It'll be easy to close over the phone. And typically whenever we close on the phone, we like to close that same business day as far as any type of paperwork or anything that we need, or exchanging any type of funds. We like to do that same day. Let them say a number first. Guys, whoever says the numbers first is the first loser. That's just how it goes in sales. And we're not trying to say that to be sneaky or anything like that. But you want them to say a number first. You don't want to go in there if there's a home that can be sold for, have a market value of $30,000, and you go in there and you tell them, yeah, I can give you $25,000 for your home. Maybe they didn't need that. Maybe that wasn't their need. Maybe they only needed $10,000. And because you've already said a number first, now you have to live up to that promise. So make sure you are making sure that present yourself and give them the opportunity to say that number first. Now, you will run into some sellers that are pretty savvy. They're going to want you to say a number first. And I'll get into how we combat that in a second. Do your research before providing an offer. Some of you guys are brand new. You're going to want to give an offer that same day or even over the phone when you're doing your initial call. But guys, when you're doing that, again, you might be giving too much, or you might be offering too little. And then they just say, you know what, you're just wasting my time. So do as much research as possible before providing your offer. This is why we set the expectation straight that we might need 24 hours to provide you an offer, just so that we're doing our due diligence and we can pocket them as much as possible for their home. When you give your offer, explain why and how you came up with that offer. This is something that we did in the beginning where we would just throw a number out, but we didn't explain why, and we instantly lost trust. And sometimes we actually got hung up on. So you want to make sure that you're explaining how you came up with that offer. It's really going to help if you have something tangible. You can actually show them, hey, this is what I have down on my sheet as far as what needs to be repaired in the home. And then especially if they're wanting to stay in the retail space, I've got a few copies, I got a few documents here to show you homes that have sold within the past 30 days, within the past 60 days, within the past 90 days. It does take a little bit of time doing the research, but when you're able to back your offer up with data, they're floored. They're like, man, I didn't take the time to do this. I can't believe you took this much time to do this. I actually trust you now. It's going to be a lot easier to lock down the deal. We like to give multiple options. So let's just say your seller wants to stay in that retail space and you got that home that's worth $30,000 and they say, you know, I want $25,000 for the home. That's fine. You know, we can always keep them in that retail space. You can work the broker deal. You can work the wholesale deal. We always give our low offer anyway. Sometimes their situation changes. So on a deal like that, we might give them a $10,000 to $15,000 all cash offer. You want to make sure you're giving them multiple options. So in case anything changes in their life, they always have some type of back pocket option. It's going to be the easiest way for you to grab some of that low hanging fruit. And this is okay to give a range. So some of your sellers are going to want to know, hey, as far as that low offer, like, what do you think you can give me? Like, what do you think right now? I don't want to wait 24 hours. Like, what can you give me? It's okay to give a range. Don't feel like you need to give any type of offer over the spot. We usually give some type of $3,000 to $5,000 range. So again, we're talking about a $30,000 home. They want to know what our cash offer is going to be. I would say, hey, it's going to be somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000. I need to do some research. I need to talk to my partners, and I'm going to make sure I get you that offer within 24 hours. So I'm respecting my time and respecting yours. Do not give them that one offer, just that one price. If you say $15,000, they will hold you to it. It doesn't matter what situation happens. They'll go and try to find another buyer if you try to lowball them after that. So it's okay to give a range. This is something that we did early on. You can always blame your partners. It gives you an out with negotiation. So if it's a little bit lower, and that offer should hurt, they're gonna be like, "What? Like, why?" Well, my partners, we run a small business here in Phoenix. We only buy somewhere between 3 to 5 homes per month. We've already purchased a few, and at the end of the day, it's their funding. They're the ones financing the deal. And compared with other homes on the market and with the repairs that your home needs and the location of this park, this is the most that they can do. If anything, if you need to increase it a little bit to get that deal closed, this is where you can gain extra rapport. You can always let them know, hey, what I'll do, I know my partners are stuck at $12,000. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out of my own pocket and come out an extra $1,000 and get you right at 13,000. How does that sound? Present some type of open-ended question for them and then take it from there. But always use your partners if you have to. Don't be afraid to do that. This is really important for the newbies here. They need to sell. You don't need to buy. Don't be afraid to walk away from the deal. Some of the best deals we've ever done are the deals that we walked away from. So some of the sellers, they can sense if you're brand new at this, and they'll try to corner you in and try to make sure that they get you to present them an offer. And sometimes that offer is not in your best interest as an investor. So don't be afraid to say no and walk away from the deal. So I want to get into some of the buyer negotiations as well. Just getting right into it. So buyer negotiations one-on-one. Always pre-qualify your buyers and put them through a process. If you don't put your buyers through a process, they're not going to respect you, and they're going to feel like they have all the power and you need to sell their home. They're going to be looking at you as a motivated seller. So you want to put everyone through a process. It makes you look more professional, and it makes you be able to find the most qualified individuals that will do what they say. Give them deadlines for each step. It's one thing to give a process, but if you are not giving deadlines, then you're doing yourself and you're doing them a disservice as well. So we always want to create urgency throughout that process. They need to know what that is. You need to articulate what those deadlines are. Find out who can follow instructions and who's the most motivated. We used to allow individuals to buy our homes with no process whatsoever, and it was chaos, to be honest. But after we started doing this process, we actually sold more homes because we were able to drill down to the most qualified and most motivated individuals. It helps you weed out the ones that are just in the market searching for more and more homes. Always create urgency. They should know that there are other people interested, even if there's not any type of additional buyers that you're looking at. We always like to create urgency. So if I have a buyer and they're like, hey, I like this home, I have the money for the earnest deposit, but I want to look into a few more homes over the next week. What you think this home would be on the market next week or next 2 weeks? No, honestly, I don't think this home will be on the market at the end of the close of business today. Our homes, they come and go extremely fast, especially if it's a double wide. We live in a very aggressive market, and the money talks. That's why we collect that earnest deposit. We always let them know there's always somebody else that's interested in the home, because everybody wants what somebody else has. Know what you want. What we mean by that is price your property a few $1,000s higher to give room for negotiation. So let's just say you have a home on the market. You really want $10,000 for the home. I would not recommend you putting that home on the market for $10,000. We always go a few $1,000s higher, somewhere, around $3,000 to $5,000. So we'll probably market that home around 15 grand just to give ourselves some cushion. And let's just say you find a buyer at 13,000. Now you made yourself an extra 3 grand instead of just pricing that home at $10,000. And then be ready to negotiate counter offers, guys. There's going to be a lot of people that come in and say, hey, I see you market for 15. Can I get it for 10? No, you can't get it for 10. We can get it to you for 13. We've already have an offer at 14,000. Maybe let them know the buyer just doesn't have all the funds at this very moment. We're always trying to create urgency, and don't be afraid to, negotiate those counter offers. They're always going to come in. You just got to be prepared and be ready to go. And when that counter offer comes in, do not have that buyer waiting. You want to make sure that you're able to negotiate on the spot, because one thing about buyers of mobile homes is that they're always flaky. They'll go and find other opportunities in that same park or in parks around that neighborhood. So just be ready to negotiate. And then we'll go a little bit further. Guys, this is very important, especially for the newbies. Make sure that you collect an earnest money deposit. Educate your buyer on this process. If you're not collecting a earnest money deposit, you're actually allowing them the opportunity to give you their word and their word only. We don't respect the word, we respect the dollar. If you want this home, you got to give me an earnest money deposit. And it doesn't have to be anything drastic. If you got a home on the market for 30 grand, and let's just say you're brokering, your fee is $5,000, but we're not saying, the earnest money deposit has to be 15 or 20 grand. Just collect your fee so you know that you're in the money and you're good to go. Always collect that earnest money deposit as soon as possible, or again, you risk working with a flaky buyer. Don't act desperate. Stick to your bottom line. If this is your first home and you have it on the market, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult for you not to sell it to that first buyer, because everybody wants to be part of that first deal club. Everybody wants to be able to sell their home, but stick to your guns. It's going to help you gain more respect for yourself, and then it's going to help that buyer even gain more respect for you. They know, and they're not just going to be able to throw in any type of number to you, because if you go through with that sale, most of the people in these communities talk, and then word to get around town that, oh, that's the person to go to get the, to throw the low offers, and they will accept. So make sure you are not acting desperate in the field. Leading with data. We get a lot of buyers, especially with buyers that want to move homes. Hey, why are you asking, $30,000 for this home? Oh, because, if you check the market, the past 5 to 10 double wides in this area have sold for $40,000. So we're actually selling ours a little bit lower, and we're giving you some cushion so that you can move the home. If they are moving the home, understand where they're moving the home and give them an estimate on how much that moving cost would be. Make sure you give them an estimate on how much you think those repairs would be and why you're pricing your home so low. So we're always trying to lead with data. We're always creating a win-win too. We create a win-win with the seller, and we try to create a win-win with the buyer. You want your buyer walking away with a smile. You want them feeling like, man, I walked away, I got a good home, and I got a home at a really good price. This was really fair. You don't want to be going nickel and diming people so much that you have to get every single last dollar that you're asking for. You want to create a win-win situation for the buyer and the seller. Avoid getting emotional, guys. There's going to be a lot of people coming to you. Oh man, I just lost my job. I need you to take $5,000 or $10,000 off, or this home compared to other homes, I think this one, I feel like this should be at this price. Or maybe you're just so you're in a sense of urgency to get your first deal done, and you're so emotional that I've been doing this for 2 or 3 months and I haven't sold anything. I just got to make this happen. I'll take whatever for it. That's the worst thing you can do as an investor. Make sure you're keeping to your word, holding your guns, and not letting your emotions take over. We're always leading with that data. We always lead with the facts versus leading with our emotions, because the emotions can steer you into some very bad opportunities. It's always okay to say no. If you got a buyer that's wasting your time, you got a buyer that's coming in lowballing you too much, just back away. There's always more buyers out there as long as you're pricing that property at the right price. So it's okay to do that. And then one of the last slide here is just pre-qualification questions for your buyer. So always understand, how soon do you need to move? Does this match your seller's deadlines? You want to make sure your seller and your buyer are on the same page. If the seller says, hey, I can move out within 30 days, and your buyer is telling you, I can move in within 60. Well, you don't really have an extremely motivated buyer then. You want to make sure that those two are matching. Always making sure they have any evictions, felonies, or bankruptcies. Everyone living in the home is 18 years or older for those individuals that are living in the community. Making sure that they meet the credit score guidelines required by the park. We'll always ask them if they have any pets, specifically any aggressive breeds, because they might be very, very motivated. You might have went through your whole process, but they might tell you they have a German Shepherd. And then you get to the park, and the park finds out they're like, nah, we don't allow aggressive breeds. So making sure you do that. Asking them, do they have proof of income? If you're not, collecting payments, if you're not holding the note on the home, it's not required for you to actually get the proof of income, but you want to make sure that they can present that to the park if they're living in the community. So make sure you ask them that. If moving the home, does your buyer have a licensed, bonded, and insured mover? A lot of the time, us being mobile home investors, you want to be in the network. So one of the first things we tell you to do as a new investor is to start to build your list of mobile home movers. You want to make sure that they have that license, they have their bond, and they are insured, because best believe if it's in a park, they're going to need that information before it's moved out. How many people will be living in the home? If there's 6, 7 people living in there, and let's just say 4 of them are all over the age of 18, each of them are going to have to be qualified to live in the community. So you need to make sure that you are articulating that to your buyer. And then if they're moving the home, just making sure that you're qualifying them. Is the place you're moving the home ready to go? Because if they need more time, if they need, 60 days for that land to get ready, well, you need to talk to them about being able to pay that lot rent. That they're going to be looking into paying or signing some type of storage agreement with the park and paying that lot rent until it is time to move that home. So I know there was a lot of tips and information. My mouth is dry, but we got some questions coming in.
Go ahead and read the questions. Give you a quick break to get some water.
I hope you guys got some value out of that session. I know there was a lot of info, but I want to make sure that we get into the questions to respect everybody's time on this.
Everybody loves the magnet idea. Yes, so this is what our business card looks like. I don't know if you guys can see it. And then we have a magnet on the back, and you can get these from Vistaprint. They actually really have them. They're a little bit more expensive, but so worth it, because when you put that on the refrigerator, they're not going to lose it. It's going to be up there.
Guys, this little thing has easily generated 6 figures in our life. Literally, like we get called. We always ask the seller, like, what made you follow up with us? How did you find our car? They always say, oh no, I put that car you put on the refrigerator. I found it, called you, and then made it happen.
Yeah. So. Definitely. The magnet's a great idea. I will be implementing that immediately, said Jason Goley. Definitely buying some magnets today. Lance Tavius goes to buy magnets online right now. Love it.
Hey, they got a microwave, they got a refrigerator, have a couple magnets. Throw them things around the house. If you have built a lot of rapport with your seller, hey, make it fun. I'm going to put these in a few places. I'll put it on that car if I have to.
Tyreek said on my first meeting, it went very well, but I didn't sign the contract. I was focused on building rapport. How do I move forward to get it under contract?
So that's really good. Congratulations on getting your first meeting done, by the way. What you want to do is take some time. I'm not sure if you are looking like what your exit strategy is, but whatever that exit strategy is, you want to make sure you're taking time to research, like properly do your due diligence. Make sure you understand what's selling in the market, what's selling in that park, what the comps are looking like, what those repairs are going to look like, what is that time frame looking like, do you need to find partners, do I need other resources, throw it through the deal analysis tool, and then once you have all that information, then present that offer to your seller. Again, it's okay to provide that offer over the phone and then set a time to go out there and close, but it's all about doing all that due diligence. Bring in any questions you have to the group as well. If you have to, 5, 10 questions, write them all in there. Make sure that you feel good that you did the due diligence process before giving that offer.
Yeah, and one pro tip that Jasmine Means always uses is don't feel like you always have to go out there to get them physically signed. You can do some sort of Adobe signature or DocuSign on your contracts as well. Once you get a little bit more advanced, it's a lot easier, but she uses that all the time, saves her a ton of time to get her contract signed. Elena said, where do you find how much homes sold for in the area?
That's a really great question. So one of the easiest things you can do is go to mhvillage.com. That's always our first resource. The cool thing about MH Village is you can find homes that are for sale, so you can actually see what they're selling for. And they even have homes that have been sold. Outside of that, what you can do is go ahead and go on Craigslist, go on Facebook Marketplace, usually type in whatever zip code you in, and then see what other homes are selling for. Or you can even call park managers. Hey, I'm looking at this 1986 double wide. Do you know what these are going for in your park? Give them a description of the home. This home needs some repairs too. Give them an idea what those repairs are, and they can help you. Not only that park managers that's in that park, but even park managers within a 2 to 3 mile radius as well.
Love it, love it, love it. And I think we go through that pretty thoroughly in the program as well. So definitely refresh on finding the values of the homes. I think we have time for one more question. We're a little bit behind, but
we'll get two more. We'll get two more.
Okay, two more. Junia says, what about sellers who have rehabbed the homes themselves? Sometimes they're expecting for the home, what they're expecting for the home is a little unrealistic. How do you handle that?
This is, again, I think Jason G talked about this, the transparency. So let's just say, we used to talk about this all the time. Like, let's just say somebody has a 1995 Honda Accord. They put a new engine in it. They put new ribs in it. They got the new interior, everything like that. And now that we're in 2020, they're trying to get what a 2020 Honda Accord is going for. At the end of the day, it's still a 1995 home. So we need to educate them on that. It's great that they have that pride of ownership, and it helps raise the value to a point. But if you're looking in the market and 9 out of the 10 homes that you see that are similar to that are going for $40,000, but they're asking for $70,000 on that home because of all the work that they put into it, you need to be able to explain to them why their asking price is a little too high, and you need to be able to tell them no and ask them for permission to follow up with them every 30 to 60 days. Because if the data is correct, that they're not going to be able to sell the home on their own, and you're going to be able to step in and help them and serve them, still keep them in that retail space, but not going over what the market will bear for their home.
Protect your time. You do not want to be listing or trying to sell homes that are way above market. It just doesn't make sense. That's your job to educate them and make sure they're being realistic. So great. Mark says, find out who can follow instruction and who is the most motivated is my favorite. Yes.
Yeah. Mark, I know that. Mark is big on that.
Yeah, if they can't follow instructions, if they're not motivated, we've got to put them through a funnel and pop out the ones that are the most motivated and that are ready to go.
Yeah.
Ty says, I'm losing people when I ask them to fill out the mobile home application. What should I do?
Oh, this is really, really good. I'm going to let you take this away because you usually handle these whenever they came through early on. I used to get frustrated, but it's no big deal, to be honest. Like, if they're not going through and putting in that application, if they're not filling that out, it just means they're not motivated to buy. You're actually saving yourself a lot of time. You're saving them time as well. The individuals that want to buy your home will do everything that you ask for, as long as it's within reason. Jason G, I'm sure you can attest to that. Coach Session, Coach Boyd, Jasmine Means. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. And so maybe just educating them on why this step is important. If you just send them a link, maybe they're not understanding. You may need to say, in order to view the home, you need to follow these steps. That's exactly how we would put it. Step 1, fill out this application. Step 2, text us your photo ID or whatever the next step is. But make sure that they understand why this is important and they know what the steps you're putting them through before you just send them a link. Yeah. So give them like a 1, 2, 3 steps. This is how our process works, and they're a lot more likely to fill out the application. And also make sure you don't have it may be too long. So see if you can shorten that up a little bit so that it's just getting the most important information, and then you'll get a better conversion.
And we'll get one more. Do you use Cozy for background checks? Or are the buyers willing to pay that fee? So we only use Cozy when we are doing a buy and hold. So we will use Cozy. And yes, buyers will pay that fee as long as you are transparent with them. Just like telling them that there's a fee for the application with the park. So really great question.
Yeah, and if we're not collecting payments, we're not financing the home, we just send them to the park.
Yeah.
We don't do like a preliminary background check on them. But if we are collecting payments on that, we want to see the background check. We want to see the credit report ourselves as well.
I am like mouth dry, man. I got cotton mouth right now. I'm trying to go so fast. If you guys got value from that, appreciate it. If you guys got value, let us know in the chat that you got some value. We want to make sure all these are hitting your needs. Just let us know. If you didn't, let me know too. I got thick skin. So I really just want to know if you guys got some value out of that session before we bring on our next presenter.
Dropping gems. Yeah. Awesome tips. Very helpful. No, that was great. I think it really outlined a lot of the tips that people didn't thinking about as far as the big picture. Sometimes we get so transactional. We're just trying to follow the blueprint, but we're dealing with real people here. And we've got to think like that. And we've got to think about how do we sound over the phone? What is our tonality? How are we controlling the conversation?
That tonality is so important, guys. If you go on YouTube, I learned tonality. If you look up, his name was, it's the Wolf of Wall Street. You watched that movie with, what's his name? It's not Ben Affleck. He played in Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. So Wolf of Wall Street was based on a real person. And I'm mad I can't think of his name right now, but just look up.
Somebody drop it in the chat.
Yeah, somebody knows what I'm talking about. But go to YouTube, look up Wolf of Wall Street tonality training, and you guys will see where I'm coming from. I had no idea what tonality was until I watched that training. And when you start applying those, you're gonna 10x your sales, you're gonna 10x your growth, and it's gonna be extremely helpful.
Yeah, so many. I'm glad everybody got value. We appreciate
Jordan
that.
Belfort, thank you.
Jordan Belfort,
yes,
you got it. Tavius would know that.
Yeah, Jordan Belfort. Yeah, a couple of people saying Jordan Belfort came to mind. Maybe cool. So we are so excited. We're not going to stop. We still got a ton of value for you guys.
Are you guys ready for the next session? Yes. Go ahead and drop a yeah in the chat. I feel like a DJ right now.
So I got one of our favorite students. I got to make sure we properly introduce this man. This man is doing some incredible things. Not only is he doing multiple deals in the field, he's got a full-time job. He's got, I believe, 3 kids.
He's young kids.
He's got a wife.
Young boy.
He's doing some major things within the business. And this guy's always the first one on every call. He beats us to the call. He's always the last one to leave. He really, really cares about his craft, but he cares even more about giving back to the community. And that's why we brought him on as a coach with TCA. So without further ado, Brandon Boyd, Coach Boyd, the man that doesn't play. KPI management, you guys better be ready for him.
He is the accountability coach for real. Welcome, Brandon.
Can you hear
it? My songs and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So,
legend. You said the legend.
Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick so we can get into this. Hopefully I can, get us back on track a little bit. Give me a second here, my people.
Don't make me look bad, man. Your slides are already making me look bad. So
hey, it's all good. You did your best. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna be covering a few different things here. We're gonna definitely start off with KPIs, but the main objective of this entire training is time management. But in order to kind of get to that point where you're optimizing your time, you kind of need to understand where you're spending it. But that, in order to get that, you need to understand how to track it and things like that. So key performance indicators, KPIs, we talk about those a lot. They provide objective evidence of progress towards achieving a desired result. So if you're looking to, escalate your sales, or you're looking to get more leads in your funnel, or you're looking to make, more contacts, you need to be able to track that. Well, how are you going about creating those contacts? How are you going about generating those sales? Those are the KPIs, and those are the things that you need to track accordingly. All right, so, sorry, I gotta move something else out the way here. All right, so KPIs, in our instance, there's 4 main, I guess you could say, KPIs that we talk about a lot. There's more than just this, so don't run away with this and think this is all there is. But bandit signs is definitely a big one we talk about. We're looking at 40 signs a week. For whatever reason, that 40 sign number, if you're able to get those out each week, 40 signs, scattered across your market area, you're going to see a lot of hits. You're going to see a lot of people calling you back and, wanting to sell their home, or even possibly ask you if you have homes. I've generated tons of leads for buyers asking, hey, do you actually have anything available for me? So that's definitely something to keep in your tool belt there. And you definitely need to track where you're putting them and who's calling you off of them, because you might find certain areas are not actually getting hits. So maybe you need to divert either, to a different area, or maybe where you're putting them in that area isn't the optimal position, right? In some spots I found having them staked in the ground is good. In other spots I found if you can put them on, a phone pole or something like that high up, it's better. So you need to kind of understand that a little bit. Park manager meetings. So again, going back to generating leads, whether it be buyers or sellers, park managers can do that for you. Another thing with park managers is that they also will be able to provide you with information about the community, about the area, about the market. Things that you necessarily don't know or might not be able to get on your own. They can kind of answer those questions for you, which also, going back to time management, takes a burden off of you of having to, do deep dives online of, all this information you need for potentially selling a home, potentially buying one. Test ads for Facebook. So Facebook isn't the only place to put a test ad, but I know a lot of us do test ads on Facebook. Excuse me. Now with test ads, the main idea when we think of test ads, the main thing we think of is, hey, I'm gonna put a home up there that I'm looking to sell, or that kind of resembles something I'm looking to sell, and kind of see my responses. One thing I found with Facebook test ads as well is you can do that definitely for the homes you're looking to sell, but also if you're looking for buyers as well. So I have tons of ads floating around of, hey, you're looking to sell your home. Hey, my company buys homes. Hey, do you need help, tracking like a specific type of home, right? Because we all get all types of homes, 2-1s, 3-2s, double wides, all kind of stuff like that. But what if you had a list of buyers that specifically were looking for a 2-1? So now if you come across one, instead of you saying, you know what, that doesn't necessarily fit my market, you might be like, I do have John Doe over here who's asking for a 2-1 last week. Let me see if he's still interested. And if he is, then at that point, maybe you pursue that 2-1 and connect those two, and then boom, a quick wholesale that'll probably take you less than 24 hours because of those ads you had running on Facebook. And then for sale by owner calls and inspections. Quite frankly, when I first started, I would call up for sale by owners knowing good and well I was not going to buy the home. I was not getting under contract. I literally was just trying to get my inspection count up so that I could learn what to look for in homes, so that I could learn what it felt to like walk through different types of homes and just see different little nuances and things like that. So I definitely think like just because you're not going to necessarily acquire a home or whatever the case may be, you still want to get those numbers, you still want to get those counts up because that's going to provide you tangible field experience, right? So just to recap these 4 headers, I guess you could say, bandit signs, definitely get those out 40 a week. Make sure you're tracking where you're putting them. Park manager meetings, we're looking for about 5 per week. Now, those 5, again, they don't have to be all physical. They can be phone calls as well. However you're getting in contact with them, you just want to make sure you get in contact with somebody. Test ads, about 3 per month. And then one thing too, which if you've seen Mark Anthony's training within the group, put those test ads out there, and some of them maybe you leave it out there and you renew it to generate buyers lists and things like that, right? And there's plenty of ads, like I said, I have out there that I renew every month, renew every week. And then for sale by owner calls and inspections, make sure you're getting those in. There's not really a hardcore number around it, but the more you get in, the more potential deals you can get, and so it kind of all goes hand in hand. Some other things to think about: real estate investment meetups, so RIA meetings. You can also, so like Jason G talked about earlier, he gets a lot of leads from other investors who are not interested in mobile homes. Jason Session also is working with somebody now who basically is the same thing. Real estate investment meetups is a good spot to actually meet these type of people as well. They're only interested in single family homes, or they have no clue how to sell mobile homes. So frankly, you become that contact for them, and it's just free leads for you, or maybe you pay them a fee. But the point is, only thing you ever did was show up to a meeting and say hello, right? So very, very, very simple. Homes under contract. So going back to just, the rule of numbers, the more homes you get under contract, the more you can possibly sell, right? Now, with that being said, that does not mean get homes under contract that are bad deals. But the point is, if you get good contracts, you get good sales, and, everything kind of takes care of itself. Home showings, that's getting buyers in there, but you need to build up your buyers list and things like that to do that. But getting people through these homes, for one, you have a higher probability to actually find a buyer. But then 2, you also are showing your seller, like, hey, I do this. You know what I mean? Like, you came to me to get this home sold. We here, and we're going to get this thing done. So, that's good there. Weekly call attendance. I cannot stress that enough. Like they said, I show up to every call pretty much. I mean, I can't think of, I probably miss a couple, but hardly any. even if you can't actually speak on the call, it's good to at least attend, listen in. You can learn from anybody. I've learned stuff from people who have just entered the group. I've learned from people who've been here, decades or whatever the case may be. But the point is, you're never too big to learn something new. My bad, going here. All right. So mobile home marketing. So you're going out, you're doing all these bandit signs, you're doing all X, Y, Z. Now you're like, okay, hey, I need to go ahead and get this thing out to, sell it. So one of the big things about marketing is building relationships and brand recognition through engagement and reputation. So with your marketing, brand recognition is big because, if I say Walmart, you automatically going to associate certain colors and styles and views for Walmart. If I say something, like New York Yankees or whatever the case may be, the point is they've built their brands up so you understand, like, images come to your head when you think of those. And also, too, they have a certain reputation for what they've done. So I guess I've kind of tiered it out a little bit, kind of between my lower tier for people who are kind of newer to the mobile home, investing game, and then kind of to the higher up people, right? And it's almost also associated, kind of correlates with financial impact. So if we're looking at bandit signs and street marketing, as I said, for most of it is free marketing. Now you do have to pay for bandit signs, obviously, but the point is once you can put them out there, and it doesn't really require anything else from you, right? You put them out and you let it do the rest of the work for you. People will see the sign, they will call you, and you kind of go from there. It's kind of a one-time deal. All it really requires is your time of actually getting out there and doing it. Brand consistency. So when you're out there doing these various things, you need to be consistent across the board. You don't want to have, a flyer or something out there that is blue, yellow, and green with a little horse, and then all of a sudden they come and see your contracts and it's pink, orange, and black with the dolphin, right? It just looks crazy. And then of course, going back to your reputation, now they're going to question, well, who is this guy? He looks kind of suspect. I don't want to work with this person, right? And we'll get into something here in a minute where you'll kind of see where I tried to keep that consistent theme throughout my website, online marketing, postcards, things like that. Web and online marketing. So web and online marketing is good because, frankly, you're not going to be able to reach everybody from bandit signs and things that are offline. So being able to go online on the web and utilize certain tools like, Facebook, for instance, like I said, the Craigslist of the world, just those things like that. Somebody got muted there. But being able to utilize the online and web marketplace to reach more people faster is always going to be a good approach. Now there is a monetary value to that, so I'm warning you there. But the point is, you're able to do that, and it makes it a lot easier on you because now you can manage your time better of having to go out weekly and do bandit signs or having to go meet XYZ people because now you're able to hit more homes easier online. Direct mail marketing. So for this piece, frankly, to get the addresses is fairly easy. You can go to your county, tax assessor or whatever to get the addresses. The hard part is going to come with your time, right? Your time. And then, of course, there's a financial component, again, to doing direct mail marketing. But again, if you're trying to scale this business, if you're trying to reach more people faster in a more efficient manner between the web and direct mail, that's definitely, a way to do it. So you basically can go get an address list and kind of narrow down what type of homes and everything you're looking for, drop a mailer out, and then it hits people's front doorstep. I got about 4 calls this week off of mailers that I sent out 2 months ago. So the good thing about a mailer is once it's there, it's there. Unless obviously they could throw it away, but the point is it's still floating around in the house somewhere, in their little mail bin box, sitting on the fridge or whatever the case may be, But if you go to somebody's house based off of like a bandit sign call and then you leave and you don't leave anything with them, then at that point, they're going to, it's going to be sight unseen. So the direct mail, in my opinion, kind of has a little bit of the same impact as the magnet we talked about earlier. Because once it's there, it's there. And all they need to do is come back and see it. One time they're like, oh, yeah, I did talk to him about selling my home or whatever the case may be. Then they'll give you a call back. After that, you get blessed with some cash in your pocket because you've been sold the whole for them. So cool. Moving on to PPC and SEO marketing. So this is going to be more for the advanced people who have finance to put into it, but also too, frankly, your time is money, right? At the lower levels, your time is money, but the expense isn't quite as great as, the higher levels. So PPC is pay-per-click, right? So I'm pretty sure if you go to Google and you're like, best cars out or something like that. Whatever you Google, you're gonna see little ads pop up on the sides and things like that. And you know what happens is people click on them or whatever the case may be, and then Google gets paid off of those clicks. So basically, I'm paying Google to put me in the ad rotation, and whoever clicks on it, I'm gonna pay them for that, right? Again, you can control the cost a little bit there, but it still is a cost, right? And then also there's a little bit of a time component if you're talking about understanding, but you can outsource that as well to other people who really know it, and then you have to pay them, which is why, again, going into the financial component of this piece of marketing is more for the seasoned investor who has the finances, because that way they're trading their finance for somebody else's time as opposed to you trading your time for it. SEO marketing, it's kind of similar. The difference would be with SEO is kind of optimizing, you know, your online presence via like a website or something like that, and via just other streams such as like blog posts and whatever else, just to get your name out there, which then it basically gets archived in Google's little search engine and web crawler and whatever the case may be, and makes you more prevalent. It's basically getting up your score within the Google search, and then people will be more than likely to come to your site, right? Now, again, if you understand between this web, direct, and SEO marketing piece, all of these three require much less time than building out your brand and building out your bandit signs and whatnot, but they do require more money. They do require you being a little more efficient in the way you're being able to do these deals, because you can use those deals to pay for the finance, right? Like a lot of us are able to do some of these things because we have deals where I just do the one deal. That one deal will pay for everything for that month, right? And then you can continue building out your business. All right. So here's some examples right here. Now this yellow one is basically a general bandit sign I throw out in the street, right? Mainly because it pops out. I would say I've experimented with my email and without my email. I'd say without the email, I got a few more responses, mainly because the phone number is bigger. So it's easier for somebody to see when they drive by, right? So I've gone away from that. You have this other one here, which is consistent with the rest of my branding. And that one I actually use for like online, quote unquote, bandit signs, like a Craigslist posting or OfferUp posting, or maybe even Facebook. I'll throw that out there. It's a little more consistent with the brand color-wise and a little bit more visible and just appealing. Because one thing you'll learn as well is just because your name is out there in front and center doesn't mean that somebody is going to look at it and think, you know what, let me call them. We're all just weird people where it's like if something looks better, we're more than likely to call it or buy it or work with it, because you just look professional. Going back to what Jay said, when you're going to somebody's house, you kind of still need to have the look. Doesn't matter if you know it all, you need to have the look at least so they can trust what you're saying. Right here is a postcard I sent out for the mailers right there. And then over here on the right-hand side, we got my website along with a couple of pay-per-click Google ads, right? So again, everything's consistent with the branding, the name, and all that kind of stuff like that. Lastly, we're going to get into business systems and optimization. So to this point, we've talked about, okay, here's all the KPIs you need to track to understand where you're spending your time. And also, too, those things are going to help you build up your business, which is going to generate, oh, man, I got all these leads and all this stuff I have to manage. Secondly, we talked about the marketing piece of it, right? So that way you can keep that consistent stream of leads and sellers and all that kind of things like that. But again, that does require some type of management on your side. Now we come to the business and optimization, where you can start to utilize these things to handle some of those pieces for you. So that way you can optimize your time better and put it in other places that are more needed. So business systems and optimization help your business improve their efficiency by improving their processes. The more efficient a process is, the better it's going to run, the quicker it'll be. And that's just what it is. Frankly, look at what Toyota did. You know, they're known for their assembly line and things like that. And that's literally what it is. It's just highly efficient. So just a few key items here. This isn't everything. And also, too, there are trainings on this as well. I do want to highlight that. Jay and Samara have done trainings around a lot of these systems, along with some direct mail marketing and things like that, right? So what I'll try to do is I'll try to drop it in the group, kind of once all this is done, we're wrapped up. but there are trainings where they go in much deeper detail around this. All right, so call center and call tracking. So when you're putting out these bandit signs and doing everything like that, what's going to happen is after a while, especially once your marketing ramps up as well, you'll start to get overwhelmed with phone calls. That's exactly what happened to me. I got tired of answering phone calls. So basically there's 2 services that I implemented. So that way, really, I do not answer any first layer phone call, basically. When somebody's calling in and saying, hey, I'm interested in selling my home, I have somebody else take that call. And they also take all the information as well, right? So you have Pat Live and CallRail. I'll tackle CallRail first. So CallRail basically allows you to get a multitude of phone numbers. You know, it can be 1, it can be 10, it can be 50, whatever, different phone numbers, and then assign them or forward them all to like whatever phone number you want it to forward to, right? And then also to those phone numbers, you can assign them different categories. So me personally, I have, I don't know, 8 or 9, and I have a phone number that goes on my mailers. I have a phone number that goes on my bandit signs. I have a phone number that goes on my website. So what's happening is these numbers are assigned to different categories, and now I'm able to track and see where people are calling me from. What might happen is I might realize, you know what? I'm not getting any calls off of those Craigslist ads. Maybe I need to stop running them. I'm not getting any calls off of bandit signs. Maybe I need to think about placing them in a different spot, right? So CallRail will allow you to have those multiple numbers. The second piece of that is those numbers will be forwarded to a number that you provide. This is where Pat Live comes in. Pat Live is an answering service. So they're going to call one of your CallRail numbers. That number will then be forwarded to your Pat Live number that Pat Live gives you. And a Pat Live agent who is available 24 hours, 7 days a week will answer that call. And they'll say, you know, hello, thanks for calling. You know, we buy mobile homes. How can I help? And they'll take all the information. And then at that point, you'll receive an email and it'll just tell you like, hey, this person called in. Here's what they said. And you also actually get a live recording of the call too, because I have had some Pat Live calls where the transcribe didn't quite seem right. So I listened back to the call and I got everything I needed. And also helps as well because now what I can do is I can get that Pat Live call. And before I even call that person, 9 times out of 10, I have all their information pulled up. I have their home pulled up. I have any liens or taxes they have pulled up. I have everything that I could possibly need. So when I talk to them, you know, frankly, I'm also screening them as well. If I know they have a lien on that home and I call and say, hey, do you have any liens? No, it's all paid off. Then I know when I get there or when I talk to them, I need to say, hey, can I see proof of that? As opposed to, man, I'm not sure if they do or don't have liens, because this also goes into your offer and the way you might potentially market this home or strategize to unload it. Lead management. So lead management is important. Me personally, I use HubSpot because it's free. That's it. I know Jan Samir, I believe you Active Campaign, but this helps because now instead of you having to remember every single thing, every single detail about, you know, your various deals, put them all in there. Set notes, set tasks. I do that all the time. I'll put them in there, and I have a few where they're like, hey, call me back in October because they're trying to move out at the end of the year. Awesome. So I'll set a task for, you know, like 2 months from now just to follow up with them, even though it's not October. The point is I want to stay fresh in their mind, but also I don't have to remember that. It's not on a sheet of paper. It's literally a task in my CRM that'll pop up with all the information I've loaded there. So that way when I talk to them, it's as if I never left. I remember how big it was. I remember their problems. I remember any liens. I remember any taxes. I remember who I talked to, everything. Virtual assistants. Virtual assistants will help. And Upwork is a spot where you can find them. They'll help because maybe you have day-to-day paperwork, or maybe, you know what, you're like, okay, hey, I got like 10, 12 freaking homes. Let me get a VA who can manage scheduling viewings, or maybe even a VA to manage your schedule, like almost like your personal assistant, right? So you yourself are not having to spend time during the week or during the day trying to figure out what am I going to do next, or trying to figure out how am I going to squeeze this in. Again, it's optimizing your time to optimize your business, right? If you're spending too much time doing paper pushing and peddling, then your business isn't going to grow the way you want it to grow. So a VA can help with that, along with lead management and call center tracking and things like that. Direct mail marketing. So direct mail, Google Ads, SEO. Again, these things help because now maybe you say, hey, I normally put out 40 bandit signs, but I'm gonna put out 20 this week. Or maybe you're getting so much, you know, response from direct mail marketing, you realize, okay, I'm still going to spend some time on bandit signs, but maybe I hire somebody to do those instead. So that way I can spend more time dealing with all this direct mail response that's coming in, right? But the point is, with direct mail, you're able to reach more people a lot faster. And frankly, cost-wise, especially if, you're doing these deals, you might spend, $300 to $500 somewhere in there to do a direct mail campaign. But if just one of those converts for, $3,000 commission fee, or maybe it's a buy and hold, and, who knows what you get off of that, it's paid for itself and some. And that's always the goal with this, right? That's why we say in the beginning, get out there and do some deals first so that your deals start to pay for your business. You don't want to pay for your business out of pocket up front, because then you will become cash strapped, right? So that's that. Here is just a screenshot of CallRail. Again, I told you I have all these various numbers here that all get forwarded to my Pat Live number. And then I have my category. So I know when they call in, this is where you found me. You still want to ask, but you know where you found me. So I don't necessarily have to be wondering, man, how the heck did they find me? Because I definitely sometimes am wondering, who the heck is this calling me? And now I know. Here is my HubSpot CRM screenshot. This is from, I'm sure it was a little while ago, but either way, you see I have some homes that I need to talk to or schedule an appointment to go out there and see. I got some that I'm like, okay, I got, already scheduled, so I'm going to see it, or I have like somebody coming out to see it or whatever. The point is, I have all the information here along with how much they want, notes, whatever the case may be. I have it logged there. One thing as well, me personally, I like my closed loss column, because what I like to do in there is I put notes why I believe I might have lost that deal or why it fell through. Quite often you're going to see more deals fall through, not because of what you did, just because the buyer decided, oh, I'm going a different direction, or I don't need to sell, or maybe they found a buyer before y'all actually got, so the one thing is I definitely see some people beating themselves up sometimes over deals they didn't do, they wish they could have. But to be honest with you, a lot of times it's not your fault. It's not on you. It's other circumstances that had nothing to do with you. But it's a good idea to maybe keep note, because maybe there is a deal that you're like, hey, I could have done a little bit better. Now you have notes there to understand what you did wrong, and you can correct that going forward. Closed won help for a multitude of reasons, whether it be, accounting, but also too, so you can kind of see how you've been doing through the year, tracking, kind of like a pat on the back every time, if you get a little downtrodden, you can look back and be like, you know what, I've been killing this year. I've been da-da-da-da-da. So it's always good to kind of have that ready for you. All right, now, last thing before we get into some good old Q&A. The complaint we hear a lot is, hey, man, I'm busy. Well, frankly, we're all busy. No offense, but nobody cares. You need to optimize. You need to strategize how you're going to spend your time during the week if you want this to work. Nothing that, ever worked out was easy, right? If you really want this to happen, it'll happen. So it's going to require you sitting down and seeing, what can I do to give at least 10 hours a week? And 10 hours a week is not really a lot. It's really not a lot of hours to give per week to this business. So, and mind you, this is like for the beginner, right? You're giving 10 hours, and this is a lot of this is manual, but once you scale up a little bit and you're able to hire some of these services and do these other activities, you can dedicate roughly maybe the same or more time, or a little bit more time, but have way better results because your business is now flowing. But you have to do the upfront work to get there, right? So for the newer investor, 10 to 15 hours a week, I built out this little mini schedule of what it looks like for a just 10-hour person who's working full-time and just wants to give 10 hours to the business. So the gray bar is going to represent a normal work day, right? 9 to 5 p.m. So maybe you say, okay, let me take 1 hour Monday through Friday. So that's 1 hour Monday through Friday. That gets you 5 hours right there. And I'm going to call park managers on my lunch break, whatever. It can be any 1 hour slot throughout the day, or maybe you break it up into increments. You call park managers, get them on the line, talk to them, email them if you can, follow up. The point is you're getting out there to speak with people. It's going to help your confidence, but also it's going to help get your name out there. And then when they have things, they might remember you and give you a call back. But it won't happen if they don't know who you are. So you have to get out there and let them know. Okay? Also throughout the week, I build in another 2-hour time block. Now, mind you, I already said you got 5 hours here, right, for the week. This 2 hours, once or twice a week, right? Once or twice a week. Take them 2 hours, or maybe you break it up throughout the week, and it's an optional activity, meaning, well, what do you want to do? What do you need to do? Do you need to sit down and review some of your leads and maybe follow up with them? Do you need to sit down and kind of get the paperwork together for them? Do you need to sit down and reevaluate your KPIs and figure out where you need to spend more time? It's an optional activity that you dedicate to the business to say, okay, I'm going to focus on this for this 1 or 2 hours once or twice a week, right? So let's just say you got 5 hours here and you take 2 hours, 1 day out of the week, right? That puts you at 7 hours. You're already at 7 hours Monday through Friday without doing anything else. So now you need 3 more hours, right? So for moving on, bandit signs early Saturday morning or Friday night or whatever, take 2 hours, put out bandit signs. Go to your various parks, go to your various stores, wherever you know you need to put them, go ahead and put some bandit signs out 2 hours a week, right? That's only on Saturdays. So that's just 1 day, 2 hours, plus the 1 day, 2 hours you have here for the optional activity, plus the 5 there, all right? That's 9 hours right there. 9 hours right there. And then on Saturday as well, take another hour to drive for dollars as well. Like, you can do this while you're doing bandit signs, but one thing I don't really like to do is I don't like to do them both at the same time. One, because I like to do bandit signs really early in the morning or really late at night, so they have all day to see the sign. Secondly, it's hard for me to focus on both at once. When I'm driving for dollars, I'm tracking which parks I've gone to. If I've been there before, I'm looking at my last, review of it and kind of seeing, hey, what did I think about it? What did I see, et cetera? And I need to focus on the park itself. Like, I need to focus on every single home, seeing if I see any sign of vacancy, for sale, eviction, whatever the case may be. So if I'm focused on that, it's going to be hard for me to be like, oh, hey, let me also go out front and put all these bandit signs as well. That's just 1 hour right there. Okay, so in review, you got 5 days, 1 hour of park managers. That's 5 hours right there. A 2 hour block once a week. That's 7 hours. A 2 hour block on Saturday for bandit signs. That's 9 hours. And then the 1 hour for the driving for dollars, right? That gets you 10 hours right there. And what I also built in on Saturday as well, because I talked about that optional activity, you have all day Saturday as well, where you can dedicate another 1 or 2 hours, if you so choose, to more of these optional activities or build it out how you see fit. Right? The point is, it is very doable. And this is saying that you do nothing on Sunday. For some people, they might say, you know what, let me give 1 hour on Sunday to do this, or let me do X, Y, Z, right? But that's saying you do nothing on Sunday, and then, throughout the week, you take an hour here, an hour there, 2 hours here, and you do that, right? So instead of watching whatever you're watching on VH1 or catching ESPN or, watching, whatever TV series, you say, you know what, I'm not going to watch CSI tonight. I'm going to take care of these leads. I need to get logged into my CRM. You know what, I'm not going out to breakfast, with my friends, Saturday morning. I'm going to put these bandit signs out, because that breakfast, that's going to cost me, $25. I can go put these bandit signs out and probably get a call and make $2,000 next week, right? So you have to prioritize your time and also reevaluate, your own personal goals and aspirations, because that's really what's going to, take you where you want to go. All right. So with that, I guess I'll open it up to Q&A at this point. I know I said a lot there, so I guess if anybody has any questions or anything, let's get it.
Great. Before we go into the Q&A, you guys definitely drop your questions below. I think that was so helpful for so many people that are just like, hey, how do I manage this business? Especially that last slide. We've been getting so many comments like, man, I can see it now. I can see the breakdown of my time and where my week should be going. So, Brandon, this was gold. Definitely want to hear any questions that you guys have. And for the beginners, don't get overwhelmed with all the systems and everything. Focus on, like he had that pyramid, focus on the bottom. Just focus on the bottom until we get some results, and you'll gradually grow up to that top part.
Man, thank you for sharing. I was just about to ask you if you can bring that slide back on with the time. Yeah.
This is what I was talking about, the pyramid.
both are great. You can go back and forth between the two. One of the questions we got was, will we be sharing this information? More on that to come. But first, man, I just wanted to just thank you that was like a TED Talk. That was amazing, man. I think you did a really good job. I don't want to take too much time. I want to get into the questions, but I love how you, again, just broke it down in a basic way. And there's a lot of visual learners on this call tonight or this afternoon. I think it was just great. It was to the point, and it wasn't above our heads. I think you did an amazing job.
Yeah. And that's the chart that I was talking about. It's easy to see all of this and feel like, man, I need a CRM now, and I need to get this, call system and things like that. Let's just focus on the basics, focus on the foundations first until we can kind of grow from there. But Brandon, we're going to jump into some of the questions that got dropped in the chat, and we're going to give you an opportunity just to answer some of those. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to go up to the top.
There's so many gems and kudos that you get, man. We're trying to find the questions.
Karina wanted to know, when you call back, does the call rail or Pat Live number appear when you're calling your clients back?
She says she uses Trello.
So if I understand it correctly, when I call back, my number will actually show up to them, right? But at this point, the first contact has already been established. It's been established that they're looking to sell their home, right? So at this point, I'm fine with being like, I don't mind if you have my number. The whole thing is to prevent an influx of a ton of phone calls, so that you aren't having to say, okay, let me sit down 5 minutes, talk to this person, 10 minutes, talk to this person. It also provides you a little bit of a buffer to go out there and do some research on your own, so that you're going in actually prepared and equipped as opposed to naked in a sense. And it also helps with your confidence. So if you go into a home knowing this is kind of what they have, this is how large it is, this is where it's located, this is how many liens they have, et cetera, you're going to be confident on that call, knowing like, I know what I need to know. I just need to talk to you to see if you're going to, validate this, or frankly, give me the runaround so I kind of know who I'm dealing with. Great,
man. We're going to shoot it rapid fire, man. We want to get as many as we can in.
Sure.
Go into an update and then bring our next speaker on. Lena says Zoho is pretty good too, and it's a free CRM, so make sure you guys write that down. Tamika says, what company do you suggest for your mailers?
Okay, so for mailers, I would say if you can, find a wholesale mailer. It's a little bit more difficult, going to require a little bit more work, but they're cheaper than if you go to a traditional mailer. I personally don't use a mail house. I use a wholesale mailer. That was a connect to my wife, quite frankly. Jay and Samara, again, do have a direct mail training where they talk about a few different mailers that they've used, mail houses. So I can't recall their names off the top of my head, so I'd say check out the direct mail deal there. But if not, look for a wholesale mailer, and they'll save you quite a bit of money.
Yeah, man, we did a training a while back on YouTube a while ago. It was a free training involving our systems and whatnot. I'm going to drop that YouTube link in here as well after we get through these questions. Getting a lot of kudos, man. Those visuals, everybody are liking those. Is there a source to see upcoming evictions or move outs from mobile home parks, or do we get that from park managers?
You got to be connected with the park manager. At least in Texas, you're not going to really be able to see that anywhere. And park managers, frankly, they're really not necessarily supposed to tell you that information. It's privacy. But if you're in good enough with them, they'll let you know. Maybe they don't tell you directly, hey, they have an eviction coming up, but maybe they'll let you know, hey, this person's having some issues. Maybe you should go talk to them and potentially see if y'all can make a deal.
And I have a little insider secret on that as well. If you go through in a lot of states, the county court records, they actually publish online who's being evicted and what eviction cases are coming up. And then you can research what mobile home parks. You'd have to know the name of the mobile home parks. Typically, it's the person getting evicted versus the mobile home park, and you can pull those records, but you have to skip tracing. So it's a long process. I don't recommend that for the beginner, but when you're a little bit more advanced, do a little bit of research on your county the courts in your county, and they have that information as well.
Karina says, I use Trello instead of HubSpot. Calling back from your number, they will think you are really organized, having used another person to answer the phones. Kim says, what do you use to check liens?
So in Texas, thankfully, we have everything is electronic. So I'm able to see everything electronically via the housing department's website. So it's going to depend on your state. You could probably check with the tax assessor. If there's tax liens, usually you can find them there. Beyond that, you're going to have to, I guess, check the title or whatever. But frankly, in Texas, we have something electronic, so that's how we're able to see it.
Cool. We'll get into two more. What are some of the key things you say when calling park managers? Are you using the park manager script?
I don't use a script. I basically looked at the script and take the tenets of it and then make it my own. We're doing this. You have to be yourself. I can't be Jay. I can't be Samara. I can't be JG. I can't be Session. I can't be Mark Anthony. I can only be me. And if you can just do that, then you'll be fine, right? You have to make it your own. Because if you're going in there being fake and trying to be like, hello, I'm robot, they're going to spot that and it's just going to look ridiculous. So I would say look at the park manager script, take the pieces of it and then make it your own, and just really have it bullet points on top of your head. That's it, just bullet points, not an actual script, but bullet points of some things I need to think about talking about and let the conversation go where it may.
Man, one last question. I got to hit this one. A lot of people are asking, are we getting the slides? Can we get these slides? All these slides are great. I'm going to let Samira take that one away.
For $59.99, you can have these slides.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are reserving this entire training just for the people that are here right now, showing up live, completely engaged with us. So hopefully you guys have been taking good notes or taking screenshots of all of the information here. But we have Coach Brandon, both Coach Jason Goley and Jason Session in our accelerator program,
Coach Mark Anthony too.
And Mark Anthony showing up each and every week. So if you guys are getting a ton of value and you're not in the accelerator program, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys look into that, because we do this every week. This is just normal for us. We're always giving value. They're always showing up with massive, massive information. And it's a lot more intimate. You can ask your one-on-one questions, and you have accountability. Coach Brandon does not play on that.
I'll be afraid to show up.
I know, I'm a little scared to show up. I got to have my my stuff written down. So make sure that you guys are really looking into that. I'm actually going to drop a link in the chat. If you guys are in the masterclass, you're wanting to get into the accelerator program, I'll drop a link so that you guys can register, sign up for a call, and we can talk to you about what that looks like and all of the updates that we've made into the accelerator program. And also, I think Tavius may be in the room. He's in and out. Look for Tavius in the chat. You can also message him. He's part of our team. He's one of our enrollment specialists, so he can help answer any questions that you have as well.
So great job again, Coach Boyd. I think you did an amazing job. Looking forward to the upcoming trainings as well, on the additional calls we're doing during the week. Now I want to bring on our next coach, our next speaker. His name is Mark Anthony. I'm going to see if I can find him here. There's a lot of people. While I'm finding him, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice, man. Hey, I'm excited to have you going. Hey, guys, if you guys do not know this man, Mark Anthony Thompson, now you know. He's done some amazing things. We actually met Mark a long time ago in an event we threw out at a RIA. We had about 60, 70 people there, and then Mark was one of the guys that stopped us at the end of our presentation. Was like, hey, I like this mobile home investing thing. I think you guys are on to something. And we just kept in communication. And up until this point, Mark has done over 100 deals. And that was only, how many years ago was that?
Like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe?
About 3 years ago. He's done over 100 deals. He's done mobile homes on land. He purchases land. He also moves homes. He's one of the only transporters that we have in the group, him and Jerome Jordan. So it's just an honor to have you on here, man. And he always leads with serving. If you guys have not seen his training for building your buyers list in the group, that's one of the best trainings everybody talks about. You got to dig deep. It's in there. But if you are an accelerator in the smaller group now, he's actually going to be doing live trainings in there twice a month so that we can just build upon what he's already built. So I'm excited for you, man. And the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody, too, for all the comments in the chat and for being here. So I'm going to go over today. I'm going to share my screen about joint ventures. A lot of people want to get into this slideshow. Joint ventures and partnerships and don't know how to really go about it, especially new people. So I'm going to be going over the basics of doing joint ventures, even to the point where you'll be able to do wholesale deals virtually in other states. And the TCA, we believe collaboration and cooperation always beats competition every time. And there's so many ways that you can add values to relationships. And right here, I have 3 screenshots of one student actually who JV'd with actually who.
I don't think we can see your screen. You may have to share it one more time.
How do I share it? Let me escape out of here. Let me see. Share screen. Desktop.
There we
How
go.
about now?
You're good now. Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. Use slideshow. Is that full screen? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So right here are 3 screenshots of one of the students in their first 30 days. You can see April 3rd, April 7th, and April 19th. All 3 of these are different deals. This one was a virtual wholesale deal with Jerome out there in Jacksonville. He's one of the movers that Jay just mentioned. So partnering with students and staying connected with the team is what I'm going to be going over, and how to get this stuff done. Here's another deal done in about a month ago with Chantel. She partnered with me and Jasmine on a home in Georgia. Neither me or Jasmine are in Georgia, and we were able to partner up on this deal. And at the end, I'll show you other states I'm going to be working in too. So I'll show you guys this all in the future. So I know this has been an extremely, extremely powerful video and training. There's been nothing but nonstop heat coming. Your hands are probably falling off. But your time is more than appreciated, and more than anything, there's about 50 of you guys in here. All of you guys are attending in different places. Some of you in your car with your headphones, some of you locked in a room with your door closed with no distractions, and being fully engaged. And I really appreciate that. And I want to congratulate you for your commitment and dedication to your journey. So hats off to you. And we're almost going to get through here. So I'm going to go over who I am. I know Jay just edified me, but my name is Mark Anthony. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona with them. I started back in November 2016 at that meetup we were talking about. I've done tons of deals, and every single deal, I've never done one by myself. Every deal I've somehow worked with somebody else to get it done. Multiple deals with Jay and Samara and other students in the program here. And I've done deals in 8 different states because of that. I've been a part of wholesale deals. I've been a part of fix and flip deals. I've been a part of land deals, and I've been a part of mobile home park, where the whole park sold, closed, and I've done deals like that. I'm also a transporter. Many of you people might know me from my training on test ads that I have in the group, or you may have seen this video on a deal that me and Jasmine partnered on, and Jay and Samara came over and did a video. You may have seen that video on YouTube. So today's agenda, what I'm going to be going over are the benefits of a joint venture, 4 ways to do a joint venture, how to qualify somebody to joint venture with, different ways to do joint venture agreements and get everything on paperwork, making sure everybody gets taken care of. At the end, I'll go over a few ways you can joint venture with me, and then questions and answers. So there's a lot of different benefits of a joint venture, but the best way is a win-win. Your network is your net worth. So I always encourage myself, even Brandon even mentioned this earlier, by going to meetups or Azrias, going out and meeting people, connecting with people, connecting with real estate agents, connecting with movers, connecting with different people in the industry, different park managers. If there's anybody else in our group right here, Trailer Cash Academy, who's in your local area, definitely reach out to them, find a way to meet up with them, see different strengths and skill sets you might have. Even if you have no experience, you might have past experience in sales, or all different types of things. Brandon probably has some great experience in making PowerPoints, as we just saw. So all different things can add to the table, as well as some of the contacts people might have. I've done a lot of deals by reaching out to somebody and they know somebody through a contact, especially when I just started moving homes. A lot of my contacts were movers, and I reached out to a lot of movers, and they would connect me with park owners, other movers and other installers, other people to help me facilitate deals. Another way is by partnering with people strictly for capital. Some of my very first deals, I partnered with people that had nothing to do with the mobile home industry, but with the finance and lending industry. And I was able to fund a few deals by partnering with a few different people, just different ways to do joint ventures together. And another way to bring value is having leads. Me, that's always been my strength suit, is my test ads. And I've always had buyer leads. And most time my phone is ringing because people want to know if I might have a buyer for one of their houses. And another great way is time management. So one of the many ways I partner with people like Jasmine Lee and people here locally in the city especially, is time management. Phoenix is a big city for those who don't know. So it helps us spread out a little bit more and cover more ground. And some of us, depending on where we are in the day or our schedules, it's easier to work together. Hey, can you go drive out over there because you're closer and see the house and take some pictures and do whatever. So time management is a huge way to even joint venture, especially if you have a full-time job and there's somebody else who may be a little bit more available, working together just to leverage your guys' schedule can be a huge way to work together and save your guys' time and be able to get the things done that you may have not have been otherwise. So here are the 4 ways that I always look at being able to contribute to a joint venture, especially when it comes to profit splits. This is kind of a simple breakdown, but it kind of reoccurs a lot of the times. Is I'll go over the percentages later. The percentages are just percentage of the cut of the profit. So 4 ways to implement our finding seller. So there's many ways to obviously find a seller. We've gone over these other guys have gone over these, but bringing a home to the table. So a lot of the time, even with me, I'm moving homes. I may not have time, like I said in the last slide, to go around and meet with sellers, but I'll joint venture partner with other students where I mentioned Lee, Jasmine, and other people, and they'll find homes and they'll find sellers, and that will save me time and be able to bring in the deal in that way. So they'll be able to incorporate on the deal by finding sellers. Another way is by facilitating the deal, especially when you're out of state, being boots on ground, being able to meet with buyers, meet with sellers, write up contracts and negotiations, or even doing home showings or setting up lock boxes, doing paperwork, doing a lot of the boots on ground stuff, especially for people who are brand new. And if you joint venture with people who are doing other stuff, a great way to contribute and incorporate to the time management side of the deal is by helping facilitate the deal, especially if you're working out of state and there's other investors that want to do deals in your local area. One of the ways that you can contribute is by being the boots on ground and get your first few deals done that way, just by being there to facilitate the deal. The third way is by finding the buyer. This is one of my favorite ways. One of the ways I've pretty much got this far this whole way is by building my buyers list and always having a line of buyers on my waiting list. So whenever anybody gives me a call and they're like, hey, I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or I have this, or I have that. Do you have any buyers for it? I probably don't know off the top of my head, but I know I probably have like 6 or 7, maybe more in my test ads or my previous ads, or just in my buyers list that I can always reach back out to and say, hey, I know you were looking at this last house that sold and you weren't able to get your hands on it. Are you still in the market for a home? I have another one that's available that's similar to what you were looking for. So having the buyers and is always a way that I'm able to contribute to deals. That's kind of always the first thing that I look for to bring to the deal. Another way is by funding the deal. If you are wanting to do deals not in your area or even in your area and you don't have the time to do some of the other stuff, even collaborating together and putting money down on deals. So a lot of times we'll get into a house for $15,000, but there will be 2 or 3 of us and we'll throw $5,000 or $7,000 down together to be able to buy more homes instead of all of us, working separately and just throwing all of our cash savings into one deal and only be able to get one house at a time. Us working together and throwing all of our money together allows us to be a part of 3 homes instead of just 1 home at a time. So it kind of enables us to scale a little bit by working together. So funding deals is a way to get that. And the percentages kind of break down. It's just kind of a split that adds up to 100, of course, 20 to who finds a seller. And you can be more than one of those positions. You could find the seller, the buyer, and facilitate the deal and get 60% of the profits and let somebody else fund the deal. Or you can play any one of those roles or multiple roles or all the roles. It just allows different ways for people to contribute. And then picking the right people to work with is definitely the first thing that you want to do. Make sure to always come back to our community and look for locals, just for starters, because we come from the same background, the same fundamental understanding of how we're doing the business. So just being on the same page with somebody will be the first start of a good joint venture. Just understanding the same lingo and the same process will be the first thing. And then seeing what type of experience they might have. And it may not even be experience specifically in mobile homes, and may be past experience in other jobs or other businesses that could still contribute. They might have been a contractor or a plumber or anything, and that could really help when it comes to rehabbing homes and giving you an idea of the cost of rehabs. It's another way that they can contribute, even if they might have no mobile home experience at all. They might have experience in other ways that can still be a valuable skill set and tool to be able to bring value to a deal, which is finding out what their strengths are and see how they see themselves contributing. They might have some things going on where they only want to be able to be a part of one thing, knowing that, like, hey, I have a busy schedule, but on Saturdays I can be available to show houses to buyers any time of day on a Saturday. So if you're busy, I can hold down Saturdays and show homes all day long. So just see how they're willing to contribute and see if they're able to provide any value at all, and see what they're able to offer. And then my slide is here. The next thing is contracts and agreements. So it kind of depends on your strategy, whether you guys see yourselves as a long or short-term partnership, whether it's just this one deal that you guys are trying to get done or something that might be able to work out long-term. It seems like a good partnership that could go a long way. Some say, you want to partner up with somebody who's a handyman and wants to make sure that he takes care of all your rehabs for you and you don't have to look any further for handyman. Different types of agreements between that, whether short-term or long-term. When it comes to more of a long-term, you might want to talk about maybe opening up an LLC together, so that way you guys are partnered in on all your deals and your profits are split, or even just signing a basic agreement on each house and saying, hey, this is what the cut is on this house and going forward, or even hiring them as a 1099 contractor and writing them paychecks through your LLC. It all depends on kind of how you're set up. But if it's short term, it'd be basically like a JV agreement where you can check the TCA documents for that. Another way, say if you're working with another wholesaler and you have a home under contract and they might have the buyer, there's two ways you can go about that. You can do a double close and they can take over the contract, or you can assign your contract to them, which you can go back to the training. But no matter what type of agreement you want to do, depending on your level of trust with the person you're working with, you may want to consider notarizing all agreements just to make sure that everybody's covered. That way, if anything ever happens, everybody's protected and all the documents are third-party witnessed by a notary, and that can kind of protect you. And there's times that people may have bad experiences with partners, and one and done. It happens, but that's why we put these contracts in place, so we're all protected and we get them notarized and everything is in place. So the different ways to joint venture me. So these are the states that I'm working in: Arizona, California, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Washington, Tennessee, and Florida. And for the accelerator students, those are also the states that I am accountable for helping you guys with. And some of the things that I can specially help you with, I have a lot of experience with the most, are moving homes, of course, mobile homes with land. I'm also looking for boots on ground in those states. If anybody wants to gain a little experience, I'm looking to also do deals in those areas with you guys. So you can work as a boots on ground and I can work with you, as well as equity splits and loans. I'm also willing to put down on money with deals, and we can do that way. So now I guess I'll open it up to some questions and answers. Let's see if I'll bring back to the
Great work, Mark.
we're really
Love
rushing the time. So I wanted to get through that really quick for you guys.
Hey man, great job. There's a lot of information in there. You blasted through those slides as well.
No, I know we were behind, so I wanted to catch us back up a little bit.
Man, yeah, you did your thing, man. And guys, do not sleep on Mark. He's done a ton of opportunity, or done a ton of deals. He's done a ton of JV deals. We're still partnering on deals to this day. We've done a lot of deals with Jasmine Means in the group, a lot of individuals in the TCA community. And then we did have a question here, Mark. I believe it was from Karina. She wanted to know, what is the percentage split if you are wholesaling a deal? The breakdown you showed, it looked like a fix and flip deal.
With the wholesale deal, I'll usually lock in my fee, and that's where I'll either assign the contract or do a double close if I'm wholesaling it to even another wholesaler. and they're even wholesaling it to somebody as well.
Yeah, and I
I
think
was locking my fee and do an assignment contract or a double close, depending on how the buyer comes with their money.
yeah, and there's no right or wrong answers to this. You know, it depends on obviously who you're working with, the experience that you have, how much time and energy and money are you putting into this deal. And so based on all of those, a lot of times with our wholesale deals, we'll do 50-50 or 60-40, just depending on who we're working with. Have we worked with them multiple times before? If so, then it's easier to split more profits with them. So there's a lot of factors.
Who found the deal? You know, if you're running a campaign, a direct mail campaign, if you're running SEO, that all costs money as well. So like Samara said, there's no right or wrong. At the end of the day, you just want to make sure everybody's walking away feeling like they won. So really great question. Mark, are your areas based on where your accelerator students are located?
Yeah, for right now, just to be able to provide the most value and take care of everybody's time. For a starter, absolutely, yeah. And another is the other coaches, amazing. They all have their states that they're assigned to, and they have more experience in those states. So they're probably better at this point at helping you than I would be in other states.
Cool. Yeah, that's why on those calls we say, hey, put the video on. You can always see who's attentive, who's showing up, who's engaged. It's just a lot easier to build that trust when you're talking about doing J deals. When you've never seen that person, they're here or there and not really consistent with showing up, you know, our person wouldn't really trust that person.
Yeah, and the reason we like to kind of stick to the accelerator students is just because we see them every week. Mm-hmm. They're showing up, we see them, we're talking to them. They're just, we know their process, we know where they're at. There's a lot more check-ins with those students. And Mark, that's a long list of states you're working on, but you've done deals in the majority of those states already. You know, it's you know that process, and deals are typically similar in most states outside of the title work, outside of, you know, any little, you know, the property taxes, things like that. So Mark is definitely a great resource to go to, especially with, you know, the information on those states and even moving the homes.
Yeah, and someone asked, will you be expanding your list of states? So each of the coaches online, they actually have their list of communities. What we'll do is we'll just ask the coach to present which states they're working on, which states they're responsible for. We'll actually put them in the community. You guys have that. Another question we got, Mark, how did you get into moving the mobile homes, and what's the upfront cost to get that started on top of investing in the homes? Is it worth it?
I got into it kind of by accident, I guess you would say. It was a deal that went wrong and it had to be moved, and I was kind of forced in that direction. And then from there on out, I mean, it's been that way. The upfront costs were a little bit high in my case, so I had to get myself a truck, but it took a lot of time. I didn't really get my own truck until maybe like a year. That's where I joint ventured with a lot of other movers. Worked with them, even drivers who just would pick up the house and haul, and would partner with a lot of local movers to be able to get houses moved for my clients. That was kind of how things got rolling until I was able to save up enough money and experience by joint venturing with those movers and working for them, getting experience enough to where I could get my own truck and do it on my own, to be able to provide that service for all of our sales. But it took a lot of time, and it's worth it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Just be able to add a service to your clients.
Cool. We got another question from Tyreek. He's a new accelerator. How do we connect to get experience helping with boots on the ground? How do we connect to get experience helping with boots on the ground? Yeah, it's the same question twice. How do you get connected with him?
Oh, in the accelerator program, Mastermind group. They post questions in there, and then all of our coaches will be in there, and I'm in there pretty actively as well. So either that or message me on Facebook, either or. Any way you can get a hold of me is probably the best way on Facebook, one way or another.
Cool. Jack says, so much good info. My pens are going dry.
I ain't got no more ink.
Cool. Yeah, guys, drop where you guys are located. This is the time right now to just share where you guys are located so you guys can get those partnership opportunities.
Yeah, I think everybody's ready to kind of link up. I think this is a good segue to go into the actual Haves and Lawn session.
Thank you so much, Mark,
yes,
for that valuable information, man. You are a true gem in the community, man. Round of applause to you.
Yeah, and we appreciate you. We are so excited for all the new upcoming trainings. I know next week you're doing a training on building your buyers list, using ManyChat, all the systems behind Facebook, and doing the test ads and building their buyers list. You have been a guru since day one on that, Mark. We've been coming to you for the questions, like, how do you do that? So we're so excited to be able to share that with accelerators.
And that's going to be exclusive to the Mobile Home Mastermind Facebook community. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So thank you, Mark. We really appreciate you taking out the time because I know you're a busy man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we got about 23 minutes, it looks like. 23 minutes. We got to be intentional. Samara, how are we going to do that?
So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of combine the last two sessions. We're going to be doing a haves and wants, and we're going to be doing some key takeaways. It's going to be part of your haves and wants session. So I'm going to go over how this works so you guys can understand what's going on, and then we're going to need some volunteers. So start thinking about what you guys have and what you want right now.
Either I'll pick on you, or I'll have Coach Boyd pick on somebody. He's quick to do that.
He's good at that. But we want to know, what do you guys need? What I see so many comments in the chat already talking about, I want a partner. I want a, joint venture. I'm looking for people in my area. This is your time to speak up. We just need you guys to show up and speak up. So here's a few rules before we get started. So rule number one, no self-promotion. This is not come see Mobile Home Matt's business. I'm the best in the city. It's not about that. It's really just about what do you need in your business. We're not promoting ourselves. We're not sending people to our websites or anything like that. Keep it under 2 minutes, guys. We don't have a ton of time right now, so we want to make sure we get to as many people as possible. But we want people to see your face, to hear from you, and to learn about you. So try to keep it short and sweet so we can get through everyone. And lead with giving before receiving. So what do you have? Even if it's a book, even if it's some knowledge that you've gained,
a website that you looked at,
anything, any experience that you have, think about what you can give before you ask to receive. So in this haves and wants session, what we want you to do is, if you're ready, go ahead and type in the chat, I'm in, so we can call on you. We're going to go with the volunteers first. Otherwise, we're just going to pick some people. Say your name, where you're located, so that people can get to know who you are and where you're at. What's your contact info? Is it your phone number if you want to give that, or your name on Facebook? How can people get in touch with you? So you're going to say those things
even
first.
Your email address.
Then we threw this one in here last minute. What's one takeaway that you got from today's event? I know there was a ton of gems, so we want to hear, what's one thing that you take away? And then here's where we get into the haves and wants. So what do you have that can bring value to the group or to an individual in the group? We want to hear what you have.
Go ahead and take a quick screenshot of that so you guys have it. You're good to go.
Yeah, and then what do you want that can take your business to the next level? Is it a JV partnership? Is it financing for your next deal? Is it, a accountability partner, a buddy in your city? Whatever it is that you want, that you feel like you may be missing in your business right now, we want to hear that, because there's a lot of people on the line. There's over 50 people on the line that can help get you to that next level. We want to make sure we touch on those. So try to write these down if you can. Take a screenshot if you can, or take a quick picture. We're going to come around. But first of all, type I'm in the chat. So your name, where you're located, what's your contact info, a takeaway from the event, and what do you have and what do you want. So I'm going to go ahead and.
Don't be shy, guys. This is the chance for you guys to get your name out there and start getting into these opportunities. We got a lot of people.
We got some I'm-ins. Let's see. Lance is the first on the list. So Lance, go ahead and unmute yourself and come on.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
What's up, Lance? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great as always, man.
Man, we are too blessed to be stressed. Man, the floor is yours.
Okay, cool. It's a whole lot of people. I'm not good at talking in front of a whole lot of people when I know they're there looking at me. So that's why I want to go first. My name is Lance. I'm located in Houston, Texas. My contact information, I'll just give you my phone number. It's 281-253-4404. Email address is livingmobile@gmail.com. It's just exactly how it sounds, livingmobile@gmail.com. One takeaway that I got from today's event is everything Brandon Boyd said in his thing, everything, all that was gold. You know what I mean? Like, that was just gold. I think I took probably from the main thing I took from that is just the importance of the marketing, and like how he was able to kind of go with, this is not necessarily least important, but here is going to be your best value, or this is going to be your cheapest route to market. Here's going to be your next, value here that you can market in this rate. And then it's just like he kind of touched different individuals and kind of where they are in their business. You know, who has capital here, you can use this way to market. Who has a little bit less capital here, you can use that way to market. Like, it's kind of, he opened it up for everyone to be able to be effective. So I think that was really good. Let's see, what do I have that I can bring value to the group? So me personally, I'm just a go-getter, man. I'm never afraid to go out here and drive for dollars. I'm never afraid to go talk to individuals and knock on people's doors or anything like that. And I do it a lot. I drive for dollars a lot, talk to park managers a lot. I'm getting my networking skills up. I kind of restarted, you know, and I'm just kind of starting from scratch when it comes to organizing my business. But as for like networking and meeting people and things like that, that's what I mainly do. So that's the value that I could bring. And what do you want to take my business to the next level? Yeah, I just, like I say, for my business to go to the next level, personally, I just think just more organization, just getting everything kind of focused in more on just organization. I can't be too specific about that, but it's just organization. From the outside, if I was looking at my business from the outside looking in, things just need to be more organized, and I think it would be more efficient and effective that way. Because it's like, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of park managers. I've got park managers that'll call me and, you know, give me deals and things like that. But then I'll find myself being like, okay, which park manager was that just called me just now? Let me go back and make sure, you know. It's like a waste of time. I'm wasting so much time. So
yeah, no. So if anybody is really organized but maybe needs some help with a go-getter spirit, or somebody, a partner, accountability partner, hook up with Lance. Lance, if you want to drop your phone number and your email in the chat and just start connecting with people, especially if you're in the Houston area, this is a great opportunity for you guys to bring some value to each other.
And great job just getting out there, taking the opportunity to go first, speaking in front of people, man. It's not that bad, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much, Lance.
Cool.
All right, Kim Starks, we're going to bring you on next. And the clock is on. Almost. Once you're
okay, hi, everybody. My name is Kim Starks, brand new out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. My contact, I put it in the chat, is kimstarks7@gmail, number 616-318-8584. The biggest takeaway I'm getting from this is that it's working. That is working. So many times you hear people got so many things, got so many ideas, but their business idea is not making money. So it's not a business. So I see this working. So I'm excited about that. What do I bring to the group? I would say one thing about me, I love to take action. So I saw a video the other day and I said, man, that would be a great idea. I was looking to bring another stream of income in my life and was riding down the street and saw a mobile home, like kind of on the side of a park. Went in to talk to the park manager, and it happened to be a guy in there trying to sell his place because he had to move. And the park manager like put it on Facebook. And so I stepped outside because, you know, we're practicing social distancing. When he came out, I said, hey, what you selling your home for? Went around the corner and ended up buying it. So I bought it first. Now I got to find out what to do with it. So that made me just run and join the group real fast. So yeah, I'm excited. One of the things that I say I would need, me personally, I have a sales background, so I love people, love helping people. I would really like to come somewhere and shadow someone for like 3 or 4 days, just because I'm very hands-on, and when I see it, I can, you know, catch it. That's how I usually, you know, do training. If that's possible, that would be very helpful to me. Yeah, you can work me for free. You let me shadow you. I can either pay you or you can just work me for free while I'm there. I just want to see how this is done.
I love it. I love
Just
it.
in time, too. Great job, Kim.
Great job, Kim. Thanks so much for sharing. Definitely drop your contact info in the chat below.
Congratulations on getting out there and taking action and get that first opportunity.
Now we got to sell it. We got to make some money now.
Yeah. Great job, Kim.
Thank you.
Now we got King Taden.
Taden is up next.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. The floor is yours. The clock is on.
All right, so my name is Taden Partwell. I am located in Las Vegas. And sorry, my dog and my cat literally just came downstairs, so I apologize if you hear them. I am located in Las Vegas. The best way to contact me would actually be through Facebook. I get a lot of message requests on there, and I try to respond pretty fast. So if you're in TCA, just feel free to, make sure you mention that, because I'm more likely to respond to you if you're like a random person. What I am willing to do, what I'm willing to bring to the table is always boots on the ground. I do have a 9 to 5, but I'm always willing to get out there after hours, on the weekends. I'm down. I also speak Spanish, so that really helps. I mean, a lot of the people who live in mobile home parks are primarily Spanish speaking. So that's like, I mean, a lot of my deals have been with people who speak Spanish. So that helps a lot too. So if you have anybody, you want me to reach out to them and try to just facilitate something, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. And then what I need, I would say, is probably more organization and accountability. Because I'm looking to get into the accelerated program because I know that's going to be high amount of accountability, but I definitely think I could use that one-on-one. And I think I missed out on saying what I got from this, but it was mainly the time management and calling park managers to build that rapport, since we can't physically go into their office.
Thank you so much, Tatum. Thank you so much, man.
I didn't know you speak Spanish. I'm going to have to put that in my back pocket because we get a lot of Spanish.
Hablo español, entonces me habla, por favor.
Hey, if you guys need any type of translation, definitely contact Hayden as soon as possible to get those deals done. We appreciate it, man. Great job just in time as well.
Perfect. All right. The next person we have is Mr. Tavius Washington.
Tavius, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I actually wasn't expecting so many people to say amen, so I was just going to be like the icebreaker. So I'm gonna keep this short so that the other people can get in. Everyone, a lot of you know me. I am Tavius. I'm the enrollment director here at Trailer Cash Academy. So you can reach out to me if you're in the masterclass wanting to get up, want more information to get into the accelerator. My number is 602-833-7877, or you can just reach out to me through Facebook. And so the biggest thing I took away from this, just to kind of move it along, is that our coaches are dope. Like, I knew they were good, and I brag about them on the calls. If any of you have gotten, I brag about them. But you almost forget how knowledgeable they are, and that it's not just they can help you with this one problem, but they can give you insights to different ways. And that none of us are a part of a cookie cutter, meaning that if you don't do it just one way, you're going to fail. You realize that we're all different and they all have their own way of doing it. But at the end of the day, we're all making money. So it's really awesome that if you're a really talkative person, you can gravitate towards the people that, Brandon and things like that, and the people who are more organized, you can gravitate towards like Mark. It's awesome to have those coaches. But I don't really want to go into the wants and needs. I'll let other people go.
Love it, Tavius. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, man. And
Tavius.
Can you agree more? These coaches are amazing. So the next person we have on is Tamika.
Tamika Merchant.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Too blessed to be stressed. How you doing?
Amen. I am Tamika Merchant, as Jay said, and my contact number is 313-329-1687. I reside in Belleville, Michigan. My takeaway today was the joint venture, having a greater understanding of what it actually is and how it works. I had never heard the term before. So thank you, Mark, for always providing great information. And the value that I have, like Tayden, boots on the ground. I'm a hard worker, investigate, get out, meet people. I'm very vivacious, inspirational, and I love interacting with people. And I kind of get a vibe and a feel for if they're business oriented, if they're just blowing smoke or anything of that nature. And the thing that I need to do to build my business to the next level, I have researched parks, and I met with a park manager. It went very well. And I wanted to buy a handyman special, but then she stated that the park was going to fix it up and they'll sell it. So it kind of threw me back for a minute. And so I just needed that, I guess, that being around like-minded people to give you that inspiration, encouragement, and motivation to build that business. I have it in me. My last name is Merchant, so that's what merchants do. So just being around like-minded people. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. I think this is huge. This is why we put this together. It's like we all have different powers. And I think if we all bring these powers together, we can be like the Avengers with mobile home investing. It's just creating the space and allowing people to show, what their strengths are, so we can leverage out those weaknesses that we all have. So great job. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
And then Andres Rosini. Andres, you are on, brother.
Hey guys, it's Andres Rossini. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll drop my contact in the chat, but I wanted to say, it was a nice reminder for you, Jay, to say you only like to work with those sellers that are motivated, and you ask them that 30-day question. So that's a key that I need to remember to make sure not to waste my time. And then it was great to see from Mark the split, or an idea of what the split would be on a JV deal. That's really nice to see, because I would have no idea what's fair or what's appropriate for that. Really, at this point, I have some capital that I would like to invest, either maybe to finance a qualified buyer for one of your deals, or maybe a whole deal itself. That's kind of something I wanted to open myself to. And then I really see the partnering as a way to keep growing at this point. So I really like to partner up in the future. I think it would help me keep accountable. I think just when you have somebody else in the picture, you gotta do your part. And at the same time, it'll help do more volume, more bigger deals or more deals, and just grow on that way. So.
Thank you so much, Andres. And don't let him fool you guys. Andres has done a number of deals as well. How long have you been investing in mobile homes now?
Probably about 3 years, on and off, quite a bit. About 20 deals. They were all fairly involved fix and flips here in Phoenix. But it's in most, half of them seller finance myself, half of them cash. So it's been great.
And outside of funding, I know we have a couple seconds here. Outside of funding, you guys have questions in regards to any fix and flips you're working on. Andre did a lot of the repairs for home, man. I remember man, we had some conversations, some things that you were doing late night with some of the homes and opportunities you had. So he is a gem himself. He's got a lot of information, and he's got some capital. He wants to get it working. So definitely contact him.
Absolutely, Andre. Don't forget to drop your contact info in the chat. Jonia, you're up next. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Can you correct me?
Jonia Jenkins.
It's Janae. How are you? Yes. No, it's all right. I get it all the time. Trust me. Forgive me if you hear the kids in the background. But I'm just, excited to just be in this whole environment. It's such a positive environment. What I got from the information, I did put my information in the chat, was to just manage your time, take your time, try to find out the right type of deals. We are actually, my husband and I are doing this together, so we are actually in the process of wholesaling our first deal. We're closing next week. So all of the information that you guys had given us for the wholesale process was just great. So I thank you guys a lot for that. So we just are hoping to find more deals, being able to actually find a fix and flip. And here in Pennsylvania, a lot of the lot rents are really high. So we're just trying to find something where we can just get a good deal from it. So right now we're wholesaling, and we went over to Delaware, and we have another person that we just got under contract.
Woo! Hey, y'all heating up. Congratulations. Getting out there so early, getting deals done. I think you're right. This was a very, very positive environment. And it's just because we have the right people in the right seats. They have a lot of information. We all have the abundance mindset. Like, it's nobody like this, hoarding the information all around. We want to see everybody succeed. So.
Yeah, and I might have missed it, but what was it that you need for your business to take it? What do you need to take your business to the next level?
Just for us to just be able to find more deals, be able to network with more people. I think that sometimes, like, especially in something like this, because let me tell you, anybody that we've told about mobile home investing has been looking at us like we've been crazy. They're like, how are you doing this? We're from Philly. We're from the city. We don't have things like this in Philly. So it's really something that's foreign to everybody that we're talking to. So it's just a matter of just networking with more people to try to make sure that everything that we're doing is right and we're doing it the right way, and we're not trying to, you know, mess up any deals or, you know, just grow our business. I'm a nurse by trade, so I like helping people. So this is something that I definitely wanted to get into.
I love it. Perfect timing. Yeah. So if you're in the Pennsylvania area, definitely hit her up. Make sure you drop your contact info in the chat below.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We have Miss Williams next, and this I think might be the last one. You may be able to bring one more
Rhonda Williams, you are on the seat.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
We are well. We are well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So I'm Rhonda. My contact information, I put it in the chat, my email and my phone number. My takeaway was one from Jason when he went over the contracts. That was very helpful on breaking down the contracts. And also Brandon's slides was amazing on how he broke. I think it's weird that I was like, oh, I actually am a visual learner because like I really understand what he just put down on the slides. So I was like, I took screenshots and stuff like that. So that was amazing. What I bring value. So I just read an article the other day, is how to wholesale real estate the right way. And it was on this website, fitsmallbusiness.com, that I read. So if anybody want to read that, hey, you can read that. What I would like to do is, just like Kim said, I would like to shadow someone and see how they do. Like, you don't have to pay me anything. Brandon's in my back door, so I'll be reaching out to him just so I can shadow, just so I can see what he do, how he talk to people and things like that. And like I said, I don't need money. I just want to know how you do things, if that's okay. And then also to talk to park managers. And that's all about me.
I love it. I love it. Yes. No. Seeing somebody else do it gives you so much more confidence. I know when we first got started, we used to follow our first mentor. He was about 85 years old. He was scooting up them steps, but we used to follow just to hear how he's talking to the sellers. What are you saying? What are you not saying? How are you putting this all together? And that was a huge help for us too. So I can definitely relate to that. And so if anybody, you're out in the Dallas area, right?
Yes, I'm in Arlington, close to Mansfield.
Okay, if you're in that area in Texas, go ahead and reach out to Rhonda. You guys can connect together if you're a little bit more experienced in that level. I think that would be a huge help. So, perfect timing.
Thank you so much, Rhonda.
Perfect. We are right at time now.
We want to respect you guys' time. There's a few more people that wanted to get in. It's okay. What you can do is just drop it in the community. You have some time here too. Drop what you have in the chat area. Just be an open book. As you can see, there's a lot of people that want to help, and there's a lot of people that need things as well. And then you can even post that information in the Facebook community as well. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, so we want to thank each and every one of you guys for staying engaged, staying locked in, just being on this call and really investing in your future. The fact that you spent 3 hours on your Saturday to just learn more, to just gain this information means so much. And it shows that you guys are dedicated to this, you're committed to it, and you're ready to take it to the next level. So we really appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out today.
Absolutely. It was fun. It was definitely engaging. It was informative. And I think everybody took at least one gem away from this. And I think this gives us some encouragement to do this again here soon. I'm really excited for what's to come. And we're just going to continue to keep growing. You know, we're going to continue to look for more coaches to add on. We're going to be looking to complete more deals with you guys. And we got some things rolled up our sleeves where we're looking to partner on some new projects with our coaches so we can help you guys even be able to do deals completely from the comfort of your home with the land side here soon. So we're going to be working on that. And it's going to be amazing, man. We're just going to keep growing and keep helping each other get to our short-term and long-term goals.
Yes, yes, yes. So remember we set up the expectations in the beginning. We want to hear your guys' feedback. Please, please, please post in the Facebook community just what your thoughts, what you took away from this event. If you would recommend it to somebody else, you would come back if we have another one. We want to hear your thoughts and your feedback. That means a lot. Even if you want to go live in the group, that would be helpful too. Yeah. We just want to hear what you guys took away from this, and that if it was valuable to you and what you can, share with others.
And salute to you guys staying on the whole time. I think we only lost maybe 1 or 2 people throughout the whole process. Lets us know you guys are serious about your financial future. And when you got some great coaches involved that are delivering so much information, you want to stay on. And man, I want to say to the coaches as well, you guys are new, but you showed out like you guys are true veterans, and your level of excellence and your determination to serve, it goes a long way. So we're just very appreciative to have you guys on our team. Luckily, we got you before somebody else snagged you, and we are looking forward to growing with each and every one of you as well.
Absolutely. And I see you guys dropping in the chat your contact info. I do not want to close it out on you guys so fast. We'll stay on for a few extra minutes just so you guys can gather up those contact informations and use this network. That's the whole reason we even did this mastermind, so that you guys can start connecting with each other. Like, you see that this is real. You see that this is happening. You see that there's so much that you can gain from just being consistent, and that you have a lot of people around you supporting you and wanting you to succeed. So we encourage you highly to connect. Just like what Mark Anthony was saying, all of the deals that he's done, 100+ deals, he's worked with other people.
Yeah.
He's partnered with other people, and all those people are literally sitting on the line with you right now. People that are wanting to work with you, that have strengths and strengths and resources and time and motivation that you need to get your business to the next level.
And for all of you guys that are new, first of all, salute for taking action. We appreciate you for trusting in us to help guide you along the way. And just know you're not alone. We all started in the same position you were in. It took us a little over 3 months to make our first deal. And I think we only made a little over $800 bucks on that first opportunity. But you would have thought we made $80,000. And it felt that good just to get that first opportunity knocked down. Mark shaking his head. You would have one of the first people we talked to about it. So
yeah, I was like kissing the money.
I slept with the money. So, just don't be afraid to continue taking imperfect action. Surround yourself with go-getters, people that are going to help add fuel to your fire. Don't be afraid to get out there and make some mistakes. And as you see, we are a big family. We're just going to continue to learn and grow with each other. But the biggest thing is 12 months from now, you want to be able to look back and say, man, I've moved, one step closer to my highest potential. You don't want to, shorten your progress and go backwards. So we just want to keep creating environments like this to help you guys continue to grow.
Yeah, so we didn't have this. We didn't have a network like this. We didn't have a family like this where we could come together and work on deals and support each other and be around each other. So don't take that for granted, guys. This is super, super powerful. And we just appreciate you guys for being locked in and being here, because we have such a bigger vision for each and every one of you guys that are here from the very beginning. And we just can't wait to see you guys succeed and continue to grow.
I'm going to bring the coaches on to wrap it up. We're not going to wrap this one up. This was you guys' time to shine. You definitely showed out. It was not about us. It's about you guys delivering value. So if you are a coach, if you can just unmute yourself. And I want to take this. What's your takeaway? We want to know what's your takeaway, and what are you looking forward to from here on out?
Hey, I'll go first. This is Jason Session. I'm out of San Antonio, Texas. I dropped my info in the chat. Man, this was awesome, man. I was just chatting with Brandon on the side, and we're just amazed at how this whole mastermind thing turned out. We was all nervous at first, but it was nice, man. Really exceeded my expectation. It was nice, and I got some gems out of it myself. Just want to thank everybody for joining and showing up. Because that's the first step. That's the hardest step, is showing up, right? And want to encourage everybody to stop overanalyzing, not overthinking, and just start taking action. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so this is Jason Gully again. I'm over here in Houston, Texas as well. No, man, the turnout was absolutely amazing. I can't believe how many people showed up, number one. And like Jay was saying, stuck through the whole time. And that's just a testament to your commitment to your business. And my biggest, the biggest advice I think I can give is treat this like a business. Don't treat it like a hobby. This is your business. Treat it like your livelihood, that you got to get out there and make deals to feed your family, pay your bills, and to make a future for yourself and your family. And so it's all about generational wealth, leaving a legacy for your family, and getting out there and making it, getting it done. Again, I just want to thank everybody for showing up, and my contact information is in the chat as well. reach out to me on Messenger, through Facebook. I'm here to help. I love every one of you guys, and I appreciate your time and taking the time out on your Saturday to be with us. So it was awesome.
We love you back. Appreciate you, Coach Steve.
Yo, so I guess I'm up.
Yep.
First thing I guess is housekeeping tip. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat in the bottom right, there's like 3 little dots. You can click it, hit save chat, so that way you can revisit it later to get, contact info, etc. So I forgot who put it in there first. I'm not sure if it's Utavius or whatever. And also, man, he sound like a preacher. But anyway,
Yeah.
Nah, man. If anything, what I took away is I look back to when I first started and back in January, and this call and seeing 50 people on this call, and just thinking like, man, I would have been dope back then if it came in, especially for some of you people who just started. And the first thing was, frankly, like almost like a info hype session. You know what I'm saying? Like all this information, a lot of the stuff that I talked about, that Jason Gully, I call him JG now. He don't know that, but that's the new name. Session, especially Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony, when I first started, I hadn't even done a deal, and I was already hitting them up, trying to get info. But the point is, like, all that information, you guys have to realize that's decades worth of information that combined, that we've just dropped on you right now. That it took me a while to even learn. I'm still learning it. So it's like, if I came in and been able to get that, in a 4-hour little time block and still had access to these people 24/7, I mean, it's crazy. So I'm glad you all stuck around. We definitely didn't know what to expect. At first I was like, yo, I'm only seeing single digits. Where everybody at? But everybody came through. Y'all showed out. I definitely see what everybody out there doing, whether we speak or not. I'll be paying attention. I'll be in the group and seeing who's doing what. So, I mean, y'all keep being active, keep getting to it, and we all going to get to it together. So, no, also appreciate you two for putting this together as well. It was definitely y'all's brainchild that y'all brought this to life. Y'all brought us on as coaches to help out as well, so we're appreciative of that. So, thank you for trusting y'all's baby in our hands for the day.
Oh man, absolutely.
It's our pleasure. This is beautiful.
Yeah, this is what we live for right here, and we cannot forget about Mark Anthony. Should be able to unmute yourself.
You gotta bring out the photo.
Oh man, it's absolutely amazing. Like you guys said, when we first started, there was nowhere to go for anything. Even if we went to the county or the state, they didn't even know how to transfer titles. They were like,
we were training them.
Yeah, and to be able to have this resource is, I've been on thousands of webinars, seminars. This is by far the most powerful group in America for learning how to invest in real estate, hands down, and building wealth. There's nothing that can compete. Teaching people how to make $1,000 a month or 10,000, however number, with the amount of investment in mobile homes compared to other real estate programs and all these other things is uncomparable. The amount of lives that this is going to change and the ability to have all the participants that were here and minute 1 be here at minute 300 or however far we're into this, and everybody's so committed and dedicated is just really exciting to see. And I'm really proud and excited to see how this goes even further into the future.
Love it.
Thank you so much, Mark. Man, this is amazing. Hey guys, just a heads up, we will be doing a live version once everything shifts back to normal. TCA Live is coming to you. We hope to bring on even more coaches and bring you guys even more information. So best believe we got some things up our sleeve. Thank you guys for helping us bring our vision to life. And again, if you guys can just drop in the community at least one takeaway, just a review of how this was. Even if you think we can improve, we all have thick skin. We need to hear it. So thank you guys so much for taking out time out of your day, sharing it with us.
And if you haven't saved the chat by now, it's about to be gone. So we thank you guys for taking out the time. Get out there. It's still the weekend. You still have time to make some progress. Map out your week. Like Brandon showed you that chart. I know so many people got a ton of value out of that. Map out your week. Get out there. Take some action. Don't let all of this just sit in your head. You got to put it to work for it to work for you. So with that being said, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we will catch you guys in the group very soon. And on the accelerators, Brandon's waiting for you for the accountability call on Monday. So.
Hey, Josette's waiting too. Josette will be calling you out through email if you have not been showing up to your call. So.
Exactly. So lots of accountability over here. So have a great weekend, guys. See you later.